and LGD gonna give up first blood. Fly takes it.
Yeah, nothing maybe can do there. So he just walks around with his tree. And that should secure both of the bottom runes, but big mysteries up top. The problem for EG is it's very difficult to contest runes when you don't know where the Bane is. And so with him now wandering up top, they'll be able to spot him out, and they just know that if you try and contest that rune, you'll just get nightmared.
And each and every time, you're going to be seeing EG go in to secure as many of these bounty runes as possible, increasing the amount that we will see Sumail get on that Alk. And he doesn't even want to go over there and contest, like you were saying. So 2 for 2 as we start out in this laning stage. As far as big matchups to watch in the lanes, where do you feel like the most of the aggression is going to be found?
I think EG, well, in terms of aggression, likely it'll be trying to pressure into this Spectre, right? Probably see some rotations, try and see what the Undying can actually get done, see if the Venomancer can try and harass the Spectre actually out of the lane. This was something we were wondering about in terms of, like, how do you get off to a good start in one of these series, right? Like, every little moment counts, and you can see they were trying to go for a courier snipe there, hoping that they'd be a little bit lazy with it, but not going to happen. And the lane swap is still happening right now for EG as Arteezy is heading to the top to join his IO.
Yeah, wanting to make that long wraparound. Obviously, you go to a lane, you see a bad matchup there, then you have to TP. The other person can just follow you. And they want to make sure they get those lanes the way they want them right from the get-go.
To me, the most interesting dynamic in this match is going to be between our Alchemist and our Tiny.
Oh,
S4.
Bottom lane.
He's the one in trouble.
In some trouble. FY and X-Nova able to turn that back around. And now Fly also just trying to escape from this early aggression. They really want to secure that Spectre a great start.
And although she's the hero who's not there, Enchantress is the key to this, because this hero, she can be on her own. She's so strong in the lane. It allows you to pick heroes like Earthshaker, and you don't really have to be there with her. You can, sure, have a weak presence in her lane, or you can rotate around the map and get a quick kill in a little tri-lane like that, and then they'll rotate Ame up to try and get him out of that matchup.
Yeah, immediately just backing away, and now they're going to have the net out already onto the IO. Crit taking damage and is going to be punished a few more times. They have the homing missile, which is going to stop.
So typically, the problem that happens is that if you're the first team to rotate, then obviously their team will just TP to make that match back up. But with the kill onto S4 and him returning to that bottom lane, you can instantly TP the Spectre out, and now they have to just kind of stick with this matchup that they've been put into.
And Chalice playing in the support-ish type of role right now on that Enchantress, at least for the moment. And it's going to head off to the side camp to farm. And in the meantime, X-Nova going to TP top and retake that place.
He took some attention bottom, but FY grabs the wave. Pulls it back over to the tower. This will allow Chalice to rotate over if he wants for this, or FY can just take it for himself. He already has that really early boots on the Shaker, and just will get him a little bit extra gold, but Chalice will make the rotation down here, and we'll rotate up to the IO, keep harassing there, and a good bit of farm for your support Shaker.
Yeah, and this is what we've seen work so often in this tournament as well, as teams getting that sort of 3.5 type of hero as S4 is going to connect these creeps behind his tower as well. That way you can get into those big blink dagger plays that we've seen so often from Shakers in this main event.
You can see though this mid lane, we haven't been here too much, but Sumail struggling a little bit here, only at 5 CS. 13 and 9 deny so far from Maybe, looking very good, up to 10.
Yeah. Tiny's having a hell of a game already, and Ame taking the rocket barrage from behind them as well, but X-Nova is going to be there to try and make sure that lane doesn't go too terribly as Fly looking into position, throws out the Fissure, just ensuring the Chalice gets out fine and dandy.
Not a lot of heroes that can stand in lane versus the Undying, but Ench is certainly one of them. We'll be watching for that vision game. We've talked a lot about for LGD, but what's important is that you don't let Sumail catch up in that jungle. You can see right now just trading blows back and forth. Maybe he wants to try and make a play.
Yeah, and meanwhile, top lane as well. They thought about it going on it for Somnus, but they can keep these pushback as they are going to get the tower underneath, or the creeps rather, underneath their tier 1 tower.
Yep. That early ward vision has already been placed down, though. They want to watch that jungle area where the Alchemist wants to catch back up because they know that he's having a rough time already. And they use that to a great advantage in their earlier games to constantly pressure the enemy mid when they go for these catch-up plays. And as a Tiny, your whole role is to try and get fat in the lane really quick, get your kill levels and kill items, and go around the map and secure your team's advantage for your Spectre.
And Ame, speaking of Spectre, under fire by Arteezy, and they are going to find another kill. EG on board.
Yeah, X-Nova was busy with the wave, trying to get some pulls off, and advantage taken there by EG, now leading 2-1.
One of the strengths of this combination, obviously, is the early kills you can get with the Spirits. As Chalice able to find the deny, still running away. There's a lot of aggression onto him, but that heal is always going to be
Fly, though. A regen rune for an Undying. This is fantastic. This guy's usually willing to kill himself to get free mana.
Yeah, and that means that he's set up to come and contest for the 5-minute runes. as well as another missile onto the head of Ame. Currently ever so slightly behind the gyrocopter, but it does really feel like the story of this game so far is the Tiny kind of dominating the Alchemist in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's all about what you make of it, though. We've seen some pretty fantastic games from the Bloodseeker out of the mid lane for LGD. We'll see if they can replicate that as well with the Tiny.
Fly down bottom, just lending his presence to Chalice, and they can always make S4 feel uncomfortable on this Venomancer, as the wave is going to be pushed under tower yet again. Fly sort of zoning them back as well, so there's no dive possibilities at all. And with the 5-minute mark coming up, Sumail just farming away in the jungle. Fly's going to try and go for this rune here, and FY does still have the fissure, but not going to be able to throw it out in time.
Yeah, they'll just trade 1-for-1 as Fly dances away. But now the question is, can they hold back the catapult push? That's what we always think about when it comes to an Ench lineup, but they have an Undying and a Venom, so I'm going to say it should be all right as long as they keep both heroes down here for a while. They're actually trying to pressure onto that Harpy creep. Good choice here by Fly. This thing is so irritating if you let it just keep spamming.
Yeah, and this is kind of a cool look. I mean, this is an Undying. He can just run up and hit people. He doesn't care about it, so he takes down the creep. And with the catapults coming in, they're going to try and hold off.
Look at this pressure, though, from FY, just bullying Sumail in the jungle. He won't win that battle, but he's still stealing this experience from him.
Yeah, and I mean, he definitely needs it. Only level 2 on that Earthshaker. Right now, the lowest level in the game. As bottom lane, Chalice going to drop the heal, and TP out of there. It does look like he'll escape, as the Tombstone was down. He only went to the tower, so won't miss out on too much experience either.
Sumail, I don't know, he's in a world of hurt here. Now, the one good thing is that this is not a game-winning Alchemist by any means, and he doesn't really have to have this whole burden on him. He has an IO and a gyrocopter on his team.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, and as we can still see from the CS, it's not necessarily the prettiest picture. Net worth, he will eventually catch up in that as well.
Oh, but a haste rune for maybe. This is exactly what he needs right now. If they can spot Sumail vulnerable, he would be in big trouble, but he's actually rotating back to his courier.
And this could be a big play if he can make his move up here to the top lane. Crit and Arteezy don't know that this is coming, and with the Avalanche throw out, the toss, the chase, they've got eyes on this gyrocopter. The tree grab is there to get that extra little bit of range. Can they find this kill? More damage coming out with the Brain Sap. They throw out the missile, and Arteezy diving under the tower. Somnus wanting to toss him back, but he wasn't able to quite grab him.
Arteezy couldn't go for a risky TP. Actually, nothing there that would have canceled it, but he's not exactly positive on the levels for X-Nova, and he will still survive.
So 2-2 already, and you can feel the tension between these two wanting to get off to a great start. Somnus stuck around, and Arteezy moving away with crit there as well. They're slowed down, but with Fly in the area, it's a little bit too dangerous.
Yeah, this is a lot of attention up top, though, so it is giving some space to Sumail mid as a wave will actually hit the tower. But a very dangerous 3-on-3.
Yeah, Sumail loves this, particularly if you just find that one kill onto the IO. I feel like EG are incredibly happy with the start.
Yeah, as long as they don't feed anything away to Maybe while he still sticks around. In fact, they will actually smoke as they're heading back towards mid, so this Radiant Observer ward near the top rune going to be covering.
So 7.5 minutes. There's an Alchemist who is trying to catch
Sumail
up. Running into the jungle. He spots him out, though. And the Tiny chasing Avalanche, not quite there within range. He is going to run away, but there's the toss-up lift. Can they find the kill? Yes!
Yeah, thought they might have to waste a ward there, but able to hold on to it. And then likely you're going to try and de-ward near that area, right? It kind of looked like they might have had a vision there as they were going after Sumail coming up the stairs. So might see them come over de-ward. They might end up missing this ward. So deep vision once again secured by LGD.
And that was such a storyline in the previous series that we saw from them, how much vision X-Nova was able to provide for his team, and in this one, FY that's doing it as well. I
mean, you look at the top shrine area for EG, and a very sneaky ward, like inside the neutrals there, to spot when he's trying to catch up in this jungle and allow them to punish.
Creep wave will be pulled back as 3 members of LGD move top, and Alchemist still under vision, but trying to farm up to the best of his ability while Somnus takes down that mid tier 1 tower.
No one can contest this right now, unless they're going to bring their full force with the Undying. That'd be their best bet. It has a level 3 Tombstone, but it doesn't look like they're willing to commit the Arcane Rune on Maybe. Rather threatening.
Yeah, kills off the creeps here, and meanwhile FY moves into the jungle just to sort of mess around with Sumail and soak up experience, possibly set up for a kill as well.
They might secure themselves in a tower.
And this is going to be tower, yeah, FY. Also just walking hand in hand with Sumail, taunting him with the Enchant Totem. Nowhere is safe.
Same time, though, heroes moving away from the top. They will start pressuring on the Ame. They're going to go for it with the call down. They're going to accept the fact they forced it a rotation and back away. Good call there from EG.
Yeah, and again, maybe just trying to buy a little bit more space for the Alchemist there by keeping the pressure up in that top lane.
Look at Maybe, though. He is fearless. He's just walking through, knowing he's near Radiant Towers, does not care in the slightest.
I mean, think about the stuns that you've got right now on EG. If things get really rough, he can probably just TP out. Only one you really need to worry about at this point is the homing missile.
Yeah, we haven't been bottom down here in a while, but that's because this is what is happening top.
More and more missiles spammed. Ame is going to get hit. He's thinking about it with the spirits. Io almost finding that kill, baited in, and X-Nova, the Fairy Fire, is going to keep Crit alive, but not from the tower.
Fantastic play with the one, but now it's Fly with the tombstone. Now he's going into the feeding frenzy.
Wanting to get out of there. Is he going to throw it onto the K? Doesn't have it quite in time, and EG do not pick up that kill on the Spectre.
Now Fly still has a TP. Sumail, he's going to use his. He's escaping.
Oh, S4 miss uphill, gets the bounty rune. Much needed as he's hiding away in the woods. Chalice chases in, able to dodge away. They do have another Venomous Gale in a second. Get within close range. That way the Impetus doesn't do that much damage. Now Chalice under fire. Would they bring in the Io? See if they can kill him off, and the Enchantress is killed again.
They do have quite a bit of magic damage. With such an early pick on the Enchantress, they are ready for it. Arteezy, the Haunt comes in.
He's chasing down this Gyrocopter. X-Nova, nothing really to offer, but I think that with this Desolate damage, they are going to be able to find the kill. They relocate to the top lane.
Level 9,
wanting to make this work. Is it actually going to happen, though? The Poison Nova goes out. This is going to start bringing down PSG very low. The Io jumps away from them, maybe able to find the kill on his return, and they try and bring down S4 so low. Can they kill him off in time? Yes, they do, but they are still slowly being taken apart. Can they kill off yet another one? Ame, he drops to the Soul Rip.
S4 gets 2, Fly picks up the last. And what looked like a disaster there for EG, they come in with that saving grace, the Io and the Venomancer. Clean up a nice triple kill there, side of EG, and Fly in prime position here with this level 4 tombstone to think about a go on this tower.
Chalice again, the call down is there. He's being healed up so close to the shrine, and with that, they're going to decide to back out. Well, Professor Nahaz told us it was going to be a lot of kills, 13 and 11 minutes. I feel like it's happening.
Yeah, but you saw Maybe get the kill down bottom. He was waiting for the relocate back from the Io, instantly kills him, and now he's just pressuring into the tower with a catapult.
LGD, still the Spectre. You look at the net worth relative to those other cores, and it feels like it has been heavily hampered in. This is a hero, though, that can catch up if given a little bit of space, and it looks like EG not wanting to give him an inch. They have to bring Chalice top.
One guy we haven't seen in a while, Sumail. He's just been doing this, rotating through that jungle, trying to get in towards that very early Radiance after the Aquila.
Top lane hurling more boulders. Possibly waiting for another opening with a relocate in 30 seconds.
It's more the strength of the Enchantress. Just putting you under the tower like this is Chalice. He's essentially supposed to create a bad fight for EG by having to dive too far.
Now they have a couple more hurl boulders. They're going to throw them now onto Crit as they try and take down this Enchantress. Fly moving into position as well, but the Fissure, it's on to 4, and now bringing in Ame as well. Chalice living through that one.
You need to clean up now, though.
They need a whole heck of a lot, and EG still standing tall underneath the tower. They've been bringing the Curry of Somnus with the Shadow Blade, trying to reveal it now. Can he take down Arteezy in time? They're moving away. He's slowed down. He walks within vision, and they can't quite find it. Venomous Gale now onto the Tiny, and X-Nova, the rest of them in a little situation as they're taking yet another down. The Fissure connects onto 2. The Fiend's Grip as well. He got the mana, and can they kill him off in time? They do take down Arteezy. Echo Slam as well. PSG, LGD trying to kill them all off. Crit brought down so low, and with Ame chasing for it, another round of the ulti from S4. Venomous Gale down. Are they going to have to kill each other to deny? It looks like Somnus gets out. LGD, they're not losing anybody. Oh man, Fly almost getting away with it as well. Another round of Soul Rips, but it's Ame large and in charge, and running down the Undying.
X-Nova falls at the end of it, but still a massive win there for LGD. The bait of the Enchantress. It's so frustrating. They had to spend everything on her to get that kill. And at that point, you're far in behind the tower, and even the Tombstone couldn't save EG. Great reveal of the Shadow Blade for Maybe, and that's even fighting into those Plague Wards. Such a difficult place.
And that was fighting without Haunt. You now have it back up again. You start to think about the timing of when they can make the pressure.
Right away, too, just smoking up.
They know their target. They want to get that juicy Alchemist. He's so close right now to that relic.
That is one thing EG have done exceptionally well this game, but even with it being so close to net worth, we know the Alchemist, he throws that chart off a little bit. Tends to make you think you maybe you're a bit more ahead than you actually are. But Sumail, fantastic recovery considering the start.
And it does feel like the game plan, again, makes space. I'm sure EG would have loved to find more of those kills, but another
great sentry down.
They see Fly, but he sees them. Soul Rip not going to keep him alive.
All right, maybe not the greatest sentry. Didn't matter all too much there. Io and Gyro wrapping around, but under this vision here, very defensive from LGD. They'll know they're rotating into their own jungle. Maybe consider pinching in on them.
Structures are fortified.
Up in the top lane.
Looks like FY's trying to bait here, basically.
They are wrapping with the rest. Maybe having that Shadow Blade available. Is Arteezy going to get found out? Io's still in the area. They spot him. Dropping forward. The cooldown already there. The heal's coming through from the Io, but it's not nearly enough. And now Alchemist also under fire. He's caught in the Fiend's grip. They have the Impetus down as well. Can they kill him off in time with the Haunt? They're trying so desperately, and they will kill off Sumail. Crit also being thrown trees in his way. They don't quite find that finish. But still, EG lose 2 cores.
LGD, it feels like they just always see what you're doing. You look at this mini-map, and their wards, they're everywhere.
All over the place. They've got the vision that they need to take those fights. And it felt like, in a way, EG almost knew that that was coming. Obviously, the call down right there as soon as they were all spotted. And I feel like they'd feel much better about that on EG if Sumail was not one of the ones that was caught in the whole combo.
Yeah, now you don't really want to fight with your Alchemist. You just want to go back to getting this recipe, and that's where Sumail will go right back to the jungle.
So much of this game has been played around the top side of the map. And
the crowd, they love it. They know. There have been some fantastic Earthshakers this tournament out of China, and FY has certainly lasted the longest.
You also see there the Spectre going to go back for the Radiance as well. Maybe that leaves an opening again where this hero doesn't end up performing as strong as you would want in the next couple of minutes, and you can possibly get something done with the Alch. But it does really feel like right now LGD with a 2,000 gold lead over an Alchemist, and that Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker can make a lot happen.
They've done such a great job this entire match of just enabling their Spectre too. Feels like every one of Ame's haunts is going well for them. Trying to stack up some gold. A little bit difficult to press. Oh, top lane actually, they're going for it with the drums. Being popped from Arteezy.
No tower nearby, and they're going to for sure find this kill. Chalice caught and killed.
All right. Good find there for EG. Again, just more space, right? You have Sumail down in this bottom lane, relatively safe. Not really worried about the Spectre coming through. He doesn't believe that he's being backed up by the Tiny here.
They have a couple smokes, though. You did be careful about this movement, as Ame is going to deny everything. Sumail taking the safe route all the way back to the base, anticipating this potential rotation that could come as S4 going to drop down some wards in mid. They're moving on to this Venomancer. The Shadow Blade about to wear out. There's going to be the toss. FY spares no expense, takes him down.
The hood is fantastic this game. There's no doubt for S4, but it's not going to be enough there. A lot of heavy pressure on that bottom half of the map right now for LGD, though, and they are trying to abuse this as EG ever since that kill in the top lane on Chalice. The 3 of them have just been sticking around. They have some forward vision for themselves, trying to protect themselves from those ganks previously, as well as the sentries near the steps to watch if Maybe's closing in.
Speaking of Maybe, he's finished off that Echo Saber now, coming out on the Courier in just a second. As the smoke underneath the ward.
Oh, the scan, though.
They know exactly what's coming. Dire has full information, and it's Maybe that's going to be there to break it with the Shadow Blade. They drop down a sentry as they try and retreat, popping the drums to escape, but as they throw down the call down, it will secure EG's retreat.
I like the choice from Maybe to also just go straight from the Shadow Blade into the Echo Saber, not worrying about this Blink Dagger up against Flat Cannon, up against a Venomancer. It's pretty unlikely you're going to get very good uses out of it unless you're completely initiating every single fight.
Yeah,
and now a DD even.
Guy hits really hard. If he finds Sumail, it would be a quick death. Top lane, speaking of quick deaths, we'll see if it's going to be X-Nova that gets chased down. Probably not worth it for a Bane, who will just Nightmare dodge the coming missile. And only a 1,000 gold right now, 9 to 15. We're about 19 minutes into this game.
Yeah, it looks like a very important timing coming up here soon for EG. I think once you get this Blink Dagger on Sumail, you want to actually try and pressure with this net worth that you're gaining on this Alchemist. You have to try and fight back up against the Spectre and Tiny before the Spectre is going to have a Radiance of her own. It's going to be a pretty narrow window, though, as that Relic's already up on Ame.
And it felt like you were making all this space for Sumail. Now you need to actually make something happen with it as well. But you can delay out the game, I feel like, with this EG lineup. Keeping the lanes pressured out. You've got decent save as well with crit on that IO for the relocates. Lots of ways to stall this one. for Team Evil Geniuses. As he is going to finish off the Blink Dagger now. Pretty quick timing after that Radiance.
Yeah, but with it being a Blink Dagger and all, you have to actually make stuff happen. So looking for a smoke here likely from Fly. Try and find something under these wards. They place aggressively into the jungle. One of them looks like it's been spotted here by FY. It's very close to that sentry. And they are able to get it.
Right now, maybe on the other side of the map, if they can take this fight with the Tiny not there, and he also does not have a TP. He maybe is just sitting in the bottom lane with no TP right now while they're about to go into a fight. X-Nova caught.
Oh, but that's why he's waiting on the sidelines. If they think they can turn this, he will.
They have the tombstone down. They need to be careful. Again, they don't have their Tiny. The slow is already going to be there, and LGD running away yet again. They have the Fiend's Grip onto the Alchemist. Can they come up in time? Maybe. He does have it now. He shows up. There's going to be the Avalanche toss. Hits into Arteezy. Can they come up in time? Yes. The Haunt is there. The Echo Slam as well to finish off a couple more. And Ame streaming forward, trying to take down S4. Can they do it in time? They have the Poison Nova out. Another fissure lands from FY. They've got them all in their sights. And EG in trouble as LGD have came to play on game day.
They know this game only gets worse. They feel pressured with that Blink Dagger to make something happen. And once again, it feels like they're just walking into the traps of LGD. Key play by Maybe to get that courier down there and get a teleportation scroll, or that could have been bad.
And you can hear this crowd absolutely loving it as we do get ever closer to that Radiance being picked up on the Spectre. Only a couple hundred gold away.
But
how much
anyone who knows this, though, EG, they understand some things about the Tiny. Sure, sometimes you go godlike. Maybe the game still doesn't go in your favor. You know, it can start to fall off. Everyone starts tanking up. If you can't instantly combo people down, EG are going to have to try and hold, even if it is up against a Spectre lineup.
Again, you look at this fight, it feels so good, but the courier going out there with the TP to make sure that Maybe can get into this fight, and all of a sudden, LGD are able to turn it.
Yeah, they're just constantly delaying too, right? The Fissure slows them down. The Fiend's Grip, it's not even what really leads to the kill. It just kind of slows them down again. EG don't know if they should commit or not, and then Sumail ends up running up into the Echo Slam here from FY.
Oh, devastating. And yeah, the DD on top of everything else. LGD recognizing their timing. See them feeling quite good about it as well.
Some benefits for EG in this match is that there's not really a fantastic Roche lineup on either side, and obviously if you're the team who's taking the lead and kind of feeling like you're stronger, you can more easily go into the Roche pit. Not really something you have to worry too much about.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And they can also make sure that they keep these lanes pressure, as we said earlier, for S4. Wanting to keep it out whenever possible, as bottom lane is going to be assaulted, and it looks like the Tiny has again found a double damage rune. The bottom side has that bottled for the next fight. It's so dangerous, this hero with all of that amount of damage on him.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
9-20, 3,000 gold lead for LGD. And how many times have we felt like we've seen these alchemists that fall behind in the early game?
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, it's true. They always find their way back. Some people have been skipping over this Blink Dagger, though, right? Because I think a lot of Alchemists were having this exact same problem that Sumail have ran into. They go for the Radiance, they get this Blink, and then they go, all right, sick, I have a Blink, and we just lost a team fight. And it feels like a worthless item. So a lot of people are feeling like, okay, I can't fight right now. I have to go for the Manta instead. And Sumail seemingly punished by this.
Yet again, they find the Fiend's Grip, and that's a Veno dead. No skills were able to get off in that engagement, and well, now they're going to come over and steal their Ancients as well. LGD, just everywhere they go, it feels like they're finding all those kills.
Yeah, and I sound like a broken record here, but this deep ward up by the tier 2 tower, it spotted that whole rotation up top. They were able to scan. They understood that there were EG heroes in the area, and that's why everyone from LGD started rotating over there. Even though they have all this superior vision in the mid lane from EG.
It's the vision off on the sides and then anticipating those movements. The DD about to wear off here for Somnus.
FY lurking in the tree line too. Maybe hoping they can bait out Ame here, but I don't think EG are going to fall for this one. They have a full HP tower. They already have D-ward at the top of that hill.
In the top lane, Somnus, he sees the Undying. They could think about doing this. They need to be careful. There is a sentry up on the high ground.
If they see their moment too, there's always the possibility they just haunt and give that vision over to FY.
But they will play it safe. LGD not wanting to go in for a fight when EG are prepared. You know, that's one of the ways to get back into this game is taking a bad fight, and there's going to be the smoke out. LGD did not spot this one. Somnus being there to break it right at the get-go. They do get vision, but not going to hit on the Gale. And PSG LGD dodging a bullet. And EG trying to figure out where to go now.
I think they're trying to bait a fight here in the Roche pit because they know they have some pretty crazy ultimates in terms of area denial. They want to use the Tombstone, they want to use the Poison Nova, try and draw LGD into them and see if that'll give them the edge in the fight. Every time, they're the ones diving on LGD, and then they're able to just delay, or they can get this counter attack in from FY on this Earthshaker. If they can start a fight on their own terms with LGD approaching them, they might actually have a chance.
I mean, honestly, it's sort of a tough conundrum to try and work your way through because they also are the ones that are kind of, not necessarily on the clock, but letting the Spectre free farm does not feel good. So they both need to make the play happen, and maybe Roche is going to eventually be that tool to try and force the issue. It's just they don't really have the heroes or the items yet to deal with it.
Yeah, you look at Sumail and he's a Blink Dagger ahead of a Spectre. Well, a Spectre doesn't necessarily need a Blink Dagger nearly as much, right? You're just able to haunt onto the target that you prefer. Try and focus down this IO if you can at the start of these engagements. And Chalice with this Spirit Vessel too. A real threat for Sumail. He needs to get into this Manta as soon as he can.
Well, the game is definitely slowed down now as LGD have taken the lead, and it's really been off the back of this Tiny, played by Maybe.
Yeah, he is still sitting unkilled, 11-0-3. But again, it looks like a slow game too because they just can't secure Roche, right? Like so many teams have been prioritizing that Ursa. It's been a great part of the lineup because you're just able to always threaten Roche with 1 or 2 heroes so easily. And this lineup is just not really worth it for LGD.
Radiant are scanning.
Another scan down bottom. Radiant realize FY could be in the neighborhood. And this is the other thing that makes this lineup so scary from LGD. You've got 2 separate heroes that combo together with Haunt, could potentially blow up almost anybody.
Yep. Double blink in from the Earthshaker and the Tiny will certainly blow up many heroes. It's a lot easier than maybe the game Sumail had, where there wasn't quite as much instant nuke potential coming out. And once you get into that Aghanim Scepter from FY, we've seen how powerful that can be, most notably, of course, from Jerax just last night. And they do not have a lot of stuns on that Radiant side. Like, you're going to have to concoction him, essentially, or he's just going to be this free-roaming Earthshaker throughout the fights. And that Aghanim Scepter, on a strength hero, he has a ton of HP. He's a very tanky guy. Doesn't necessarily need a hood to survive through some of these Gales and Poison Novas.
And you look at the levels, too, that he's been able to achieve just by pure stat gain. He's up at level 14, ahead of both the Gyrocopter, the Venomancer, and the IO. So Earthshaker definitely having a great time so far.
That's a 25% XP IO that you're beating out right now. But once again, EG will try. They're going to smoke up. They're going to head into the pit.
And as if on cue, immediately, LGD move into position. They throw out the scan. They have perfect vision. EG, they've had some games where Roche has been their biggest friend at previous internationals, but if they take this fight here, it might go disastrously. The Haunt is already out. They're chasing down 1. They have the illusions to chase them away. So
they can steal one of these too, though, with the Eng.
Enchantress will take over that 1 illusion. With the Tombstone already down, looks like Roche is no longer on the menu.
I do like that play from EG, though. The way they set it up, it's like try and force them to commit. They don't go for it, sure, we just back up. Still seems unlikely that LGD really want to play in this area of the map. And excellent use of the Plague Ward, too, there by S4, putting on top of an Observer and a Sentry, trying to spot these rotations in for Maybe. And now Maybe will reveal himself on the mid lane as they just push on through into this tower and say, okay, come get us. You guys want to fight EG?
Under attack.
Looks like the answer might be no.
Yeah, they're not willing to take it as of yet. Still a scary proposition when you just don't have that vision onto the Earthshaker or the Tiny. Been left free to do basically what they've wanted this game. Top lane instead is where they're going to try and go for some counter pressure. They've got the IO and the Gyrocopter up there. As we do also see the Chrysalis being brought in.
Yeah, that's a 10-second BKB with a Chrysalis now here for Arteezy. If you can use that flak, maybe you actually have a chance to kill Chalice without them having to spend all of their magic nukes.
I mean, that's the other thing, right? Like, how often have we seen Gyrocopters that just don't really get into that farm? Occasionally on Arteezy himself, but they're able to do it in this game. It feels like it's a little bit of a different look.
Still, EG just holding this area. Not sure where LGD is. They can't see anything. They are playing blind at the moment.
Completely in the dark, and Ame farms. And they're going to walk back into the Roche pit. Haunt is down for another about 20 seconds or so as he's going to slowly make his move in, but Chalice is there as well. They throw out the Venomous Gale. Also charging up the stun. Sumail, he hits it from the high ground. They found themselves FY. Can they get any more? Actually able to jump away. Jumps out of there, and Sumail now looking for another initiation. He blinked forward. The fissure is still separating them, but the Fiend's Grip, they caught Arteezy. He's going down. They get the Gulp as well. No, the relocate out. He's able to escape. Oh, the IO got out of there just in time, and now FY looking for more. Sumail fully surrounded, encapsulated in pain as LGD take him down.
FY looks like he will drop to the poison, though. And Fly, he's on the hunt. Buybacks instantly. Haunt now out too.
And Chalice, there's going to be the Avatos. They take down Fly. They were able to secure themselves another kill on the Earthshaker, but he buys back. Crit is gone as well. And the only ones left are not going to be able to take Roche as S4 in trouble, being chased and thrown forward. Can they find this kill? I think so. Fisher for the block for good measure. Why not?
A great wall from FY will secure the rest of that engagement. How well are LGD playing these team fights? The call down completely wasted with a fantastic toss from Maybe to save FY, get him on the sideline, allow him to use that Blink Dagger with the Echo Slam. Even if they save the IO, the gyro still goes down and made it so difficult. And now with it in such a weakened state, they move into the pit. Tombstone back up.
They want to do it. They drop the tomb inside the pit, just trying to get whatever vision they can. But S4, he was blocked off by the fissure. He can't get in there with them. And now LGD with Aegis in hand. What are you really trying to do? Arteezy pops the BKB and runs away. Looks like S4 also going to make his retreat as they realize this fight is done.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot left, though, for the Dire side. Unfortunately, very difficult to chase into, it looks like, for EG. They're not going to go for it. And now plenty of gold heading around there. They weren't able to steal the Roche kill either. I think that was their goal there, the Tombstone and the Gale. Maybe they can at least get that for their side, but it'll all be going FY's way as he moves in towards that Aghanim Scepter.
30 minutes in, a 7,000 gold lead for LGD. This is, again, as we've repeated oftentimes, against an Alchemist who needs to be ahead. I mean, where do you see this going? What do they need to try and accomplish?
I think that Arteezy to go for like the correct itemization here. He's just trying to win some crazy team fight, like a bunch of crits. You know, you're just winning this fight you're not supposed to. You're down in net worth. You get pretty lucky. You got this IO gyro where you're going to have the Aghanim Scepter put into the gyrocopter from the IO tether. That's the sort of thing that they need to actually win these engagements. We've seen some pretty crazy games with this combo where it just looks like they shouldn't be able to win the fight, and suddenly there's 12k damage that comes out from a gyro IO. You just have to actually get there, and we do have the tether for now, but there's still a long way to go before the full itemization will be there for the gyrocopter. You're going to have to try and hold that high ground as long as they can.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Well, and you also take a look at, God, maybe it's just so scary. Every time he picks up one of these DG runes, I can just feel my heart palpitate.
Oh, your heart, eh? Well, maybe wants one too. He's opting for it. Ame too.
Oh, the Manta. They pop the BKB for Arteezy, just going to try and TP out of there. And it looks like with the Fiend's grip, they've interrupted it. Crit is kind of also caught off to the side here. They want to try and save Arteezy, but it's not going to happen. And with all the Manta illusions in the world, with the Spectre on top of him, Arteezy is in the grave.
That Enfeeble is just destroying him too. No chance at a counterplay if that's on top of you. LGD taking the life out of EG here.
32 minutes, and it has just been all LGD. And again, it's just sort of the nature of the hero, but it feels like Sumail hasn't been able to do anything in this game.
Yeah, I love how they've now rotated Ame to being the one who's kind of going around getting these kills. And now it's Maybe who's just keeping the side lanes pushed. He's forcing the Alchemist back, making sure Sumail can't get out of control. He's still just jostling with a Spectre, and that is not where this Alchemist needs to be. They'll get one here, though, as X-Nova wanders in on one of his little ward adventures. So some life now for EG.
Much needed kill there, definitely. And that's what you'd hope to be able to find with that Blink Dagger on the Alchemist. Buying time whenever possible. And Spectre Heart with the Manta style and the Radiance at 32 minutes.
Yeah, they're going to have a pair of them here as Maybe's about to finish his up as well. Very tanky couple of cores and only so much damage that can come out here from EG. This is going to just take so much of S4 out of the fight.
I mean, really, what are you going to do? I don't think they have enough damage to get through it at all. It's such a huge amount of HP to burn through, and you talk about the damage mitigation that's going to be there from the dispersion as well. And then there's an Aegis.
Yeah, the 500 health, and then potentially even the level 25 as well from the Spectre. Can be very difficult. And there it is, the big item, feels like, of this tournament, the Aghanim Scepter on the Earthshaker. I hope something that stays around for a long time. It's a hell of a lot of fun to watch.
Chalice, that Spirit Vessel charge, has a pipe ready. LGD, no fuss, no muss. They want to finish this one off.
It is slow, though. This is lower bracket finals. Only 3 games. You don't get the full 5 or anything like tonight, so play very patient. Make sure that you're securing when you have a lead like this. Don't give anything back.
And one more little problem.
They're looking a bit here.
Yeah, they're all in the area. But again, Ame just walks forward and is this meat shield that they can't do anything about to stop.
Yeah, I think EG just not exactly sure where the rest of the squad was there. They weren't all fully showing, maybe thinking they were smoked under that ward on the high ground.
10,000 net worth lead.
If you're EG, you don't want to take a fight out there either, right? You want the fight on your actual high ground, force them to come to the base.
Yeah. And you can just see how aggressively Ame can play. He has 3,400 HP and an Aegis.
How about maybe? That's aggressive. He's just on the high ground.
They don't
into
care
this
at
tower.
all. None at all.
Another Enfeeble here from X-Nova.
And RTZ just dealing minimal amounts of damage. Minus 22 on there. That is a rough one indeed. And the building's falling. There's literally nothing right now that EG can do to stop this.
Concoction dodged by X-Nova.
They chase forward. They throw out the acid spray. All of this damage over time. Spectre just brushes it off.
He wants that Enfeeble again. Undispellable. So frustrating. Oh,
Somnus walks forward. They find themselves Sumail. He's going to stun himself while the Fiend's Grip is coming from X-Nova. They haunt over to the side, find themselves the jump to Echo Slam on the back line. They find themselves too. Crit trying to keep him alive, and he does that with the back. Chase forward for more. Fly wanting to find anything at all for his team. Some amount of damage amplification from the Flesh Golem. They're trying to kill off Ame. A secondary stun comes in. EG signs of life. They bring him down. Ame, where was he at? And now they find themselves S4 for the turnaround. All right, they're just going to hop away, but Sumail, possibly smelling signs of weakness, finds himself another kill. That's 2 down for LGD. Chalice also in trouble. EG, they've somehow been able to find themselves a way back into this game, but no sun for Somnus.
Oh, they have held there. Back they go. And the way they were trading HP there from EG, just so clutch. And not finding their moment there with the Aegis.
No bounty rune for you. God. Well, an absurd team fight. It cost them buybacks, both on Sumail as well as Crit, but they did find a couple kills, and most importantly, they were able to hold on to their barracks.
Yeah, that's a very crucial part of the game, right? Because there was a chance that LG might be able to close it out with that first Aegis, but just able to delay until it was way too close, the actual Aegis spawning. Or rather, being taken back from Roche, I suppose. As he snags it back. And we'll be waiting for that next Roche fight. But LGD still seem to have the edge when it comes to pushing out these side lanes. We will be watching for that relocate. Maybe we'll be able to find a couple kills now that TC's starting to get in some bigger items. Try and get survival with the Satanic. So that is being delivered as he's being harassed by X-Nova once more.
He's in a nightmare, but he's still punching creeps and towers. Arteezy.
This is a DD gyro.
They're moving in. Chalice is there as well. Gotta be careful. FY finds the 3-man stun, but Sumail to interrupt it. They have the tombstone up on the high ground, trying to bring down one. They are going to kill off Chalice. Rather tanky, but they also are able to break the Beast Grip. Maybe this is not looking so great for you. Somnus going to be hit by that stun in just a second. All the zombies in the world, they're piling on it. Tiny, they find him FY. He wants Echo Slam. Isn't enough? No, they can't kill him off in time. Sumail still living through all this. Arteezy trying to run. They've got illusions galore, but can they kill this gyrocopter? He lives through it all. The stun is going to be there as well. EG streaming forward. They take down 5.
Sumail with the plays, the Manta style, chasing after FY, making it difficult to get into the fight when he really wanted to. Comes in with a dunk, but it wasn't really enough at that point. There's only S4 and Sumail remaining. They will go for this tier 3. It's just X-Nova. They want to force a buyback here.
And you can hear the crowd right now. Happy as all get up. And now X-Nova, they throw down the Nightmare, trying to keep them around. It was a buyback force by the Spectre, but it's a tier 3 tower taken by EG. With this lead brought down to only 4,000 net worth, and Sumail wants more. Tries to take it, finds himself another kill. Are they really doing this?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Alchemist is online here. Can they get a chase down, though, with Chalice returning?
Manta dodge, Sumail taking a lot of damage, and can they kill him off? The chase forward, he's brought down so low, and with that Hurricane Pipe, it might finally be enough. LGD find themselves the kill on Sumail, dead for 100 seconds. S4, he gets out.
Able to escape there. No TP available for Sumail, so we won't survive that. And now just down to a 3K lead, though. Taking that tier 3 means now all shrines on the map are available. It was just a ranged Rax, though, so not the biggest win for EG, but certainly one they could be happy with. And the way that fight started, too, just what a fantastic play by Sumail to get in there with the interruption on the concoction to ensure they could try and get rid of Chalice at the beginning. And then it felt like they kind of had damage problems there from LGD. Too much sustain now coming out from EG.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a game. 21-35, and suddenly things feel a little bit more even. I mean, if you're, again, in the chaos, Roche is going to be back up again in 40 seconds as we take a look at this replay.
Yeah, slowly just trying to, it was like a slow siege essentially because of the Enfeeble, even though there was a DD there. This great play coming from FY, but look how close the Echo Slam was. It was about 3 seconds away from coming back into this fight. And then they're able to burst down Chalice because Sumail's play to get in there and interrupt. And then things just not looking too good. It's just the rundown from there, missing one of their big damage dealers in Chalice. Look at the sustain coming out from Fly. The Soul Rest being there, crit on the backlines, damage reduction, and FY just not quite able to clean it all up there, even though he kills the supports.
And you can see as well, you normally think about the strength of a Venomancer against an Earthshaker, but with the Aghanim Scepter, it didn't matter that he was breaking the Blink Dagger.
Well, at the same time, there was just an Echo Slam that killed Io and Gyro with a Haunt, so that might be an issue.
And LGD all of a sudden, okay, Sumail is still dead for 15 seconds. S4 trying to stay as close as he can to Chalice, but the Venomous Gale going to connect. 8,000 gold lead and LGD pushing forward.
Now they forced out the buyback of the Spectre, so a buyback from the Gyrocopter, something that we might be expecting now, as maybe wants to claim the first melee racks of this game, seeing if they can drive them back without using Arteezy's buyback.
Now it's such a hard hold.
There it is.
Sumail, there's going to be the buyback, and
What's
they
the
have
response?
the Tombstone down. They want to find him. Chalice hit with the stun.
Maybe he wants it.
They're chasing. Maybe able to get himself the melee barracks.
Sneaks into the top as they were chasing the mid.
40 minutes in, 21-38 and 11,000 gold lead.
Now there's no Haunt currently available. Perfect, excellent. Thank you very much. We got a dunk in there from FY. The Haunt comes through. They instantly clean up that Gyro. The Gyrocopter, or Io as well. And now back into the pit though. They don't have those big ultimates right now from the Dire side. The Radiant maybe trying to get here in time. BKB available. Satanic too.
Moving into position, but going to be a little bit late as Roche will fall and immediately EG retreat.
Well, a bold call there from LGD, but it ends up paying off big time. Aegis and Cheese, and they had a couple damage problems, but one thing is that the longer Ame survives, the more damage they will have. This will be his first real chance at a big Aegis if they can force a fight.
The type of game also where you look at this Spectre and it feels like in a 5-on-5 engagement with the Scotty now on top of the Heart, just going to deal so much damage, and the 8% dispersion as well. Spectre, just an absolute monster in the late game as we're 41 minutes into this.
Radiant's top shrine.
Xnova now with the gem purchase too. They want to try and secure up this map as they clean up these shrines. Maybe even thinking towards that third Roche, so this game's not going to be ending anytime soon.
Shrine has fallen.
But FY, I wouldn't mind seeing FY actually get a hood. I feel like he's being pressured a lot by this Alchemist, like just sending illusions at him. If you can get a hood, try and cancel some of this magic damage and still get your blink off in between a Venomancer too. Very dangerous stuff. He'll try and use the invisibility of the Shadow Blade to help.
Yeah. So curious. I mean, the other thing to talk about is maybe fully committing in that top lane to get the barracks, at least the first round through, is really important because you can sometimes see plays where you go for like an IO relocate and try and take down a tier 3 tower or something, but now that top wave is always going to be pushing out.
FY is actually getting so much space. He can just get a straight up BKB here soon. They're just giving him this full bottom lane. He's level 23, almost level 24 right now at 42 minutes. He's ahead of his Enchantress.
FY has had an amazing tournament so far. Been coming up for his team when they need him the most.
Yeah, these big team fight heroes where you can have this insane impact from the support role. Eul Scepter here on the maybe, being forced back.
They've got the dust out. It's going to wear off rather soon, though, and Arteezy already brought very low, trying to take down. Maybe there's going to be the toss, though, the Echo Slam, everything, but all that regen coming in from crit, they still managed to kill him through it. No buyback, 90 seconds dead, and now it's only Sumail, S4, and Fly trying to hold this tide coming forward from LGD.
The lack of stuns from EG, they couldn't punish Xnova. He held Sumail back that whole time. There was no interruption from these concoctions, and now he's being chased down with the Spirit Vessel.
Into the fountain they go, and Sumail hits the deck, 100 seconds gone, and Ame wants it. Tier 4 tower being assaulted, LGD.
They learned their lessons last night. Go for the Tier 4, close it out, and LGD secure game 1.
And you can hear the crowd right there, giving a lot of love. Their Chinese friends, and my goodness gracious me, oh my, what a series to start it. I mean, at so many points, it did kind of feel like it was LGD that were the ones that were leading, but you see that big fight, the full wipe that came from EG, it sort of felt like it might have had a chance to turn back around.
It just seemed like such a well-executed game plan there from LGD. You know, pick this tiny mid for maybe, give him a good matchup, take over the early game, transition into Ame on the Spectre. We heard them talk in their interviews. There's no true captain. You could see different players leading throughout that game when they needed it.
That's going to do it for game number 1. LGD leading 1-0 as we head back to the panel.
Thanks very much, Lyrical. Yes, PSG LGD winning the opening game in this lower bracket final. But my goodness, they had to work hard for it, didn't they? A few mistakes in there. It wasn't the perfect game, but they've got there in the end. Welcome back, Gods, to the panel in the best colour possible. Good job, brother. Good game, but tricky at times. I mean, we worry sometimes for LGD, don't we? When they do things like that in the mid-game, you just kind of... don't throw it away. You're in the good position right now. Yeah, probably some flashbacks to Game 3 yesterday against OG, at least for a lot of the LGD fans. I think LGD, though, you could see they kind of stayed composed. They knew they have this Spectre, this hero that just feels very hard to beat right now. If you're going late game with the Spectre, you've got to feel pretty comfortable about yourself. Yeah, Peter, you mentioned the Spectre when we were talking about the draft. It's a dangerous, it's horrible kind of hero to play against as well. It's a little bit frightening. You only get to make a couple mistakes against Spectre in a game. Yeah, and we saw, I guess, it's inevitable, isn't it, at this kind of stage of the tournament that we're going to see a few mistakes. There's going to be a few nerves here and there. I think with so much pressure, and I think LGD is one of those teams who really relies on that with the way they play around that Spectre. They're waiting for that one, like, they're not necessarily going to be able to secure in the laning phase. They're waiting for that one team fight where he comes in with the haunt and is able to clean up 2 or 3 kills, and he's back into the game, basically. Yeah. Peter, what's it like playing these lower bracket games? Because you come out in the morning and psychologically, you know that if you want to win the whole thing, you've got to win this one, and then you've got to win the next. How do you prioritize? Like I was saying in the last panel, I think that you really just need to focus on this first match. Right. And LGD, are you not even thinking about later? Are you not thinking, like, if we can win this 2-0, that's going to conserve energy? I think this first match is just so difficult that you just can't think about the final right now. You just have to worry about, making it there. Yeah. So you don't worry about talking about, if you win the first game, do you worry about talking about, hey, if we can wrap this up quickly in 2-0, that would give us some more reserves for later? Generally on day 6, I think teams kind of have themselves figured out, and we see these teams drafting to their comforts. We have Sumail on his Alchemist, Arteezy on the Gyro, and like Ame on this hard carry, and then maybe on this Tiny, which I wasn't exactly expecting, but like, man, he handled that mid lane. I was really surprised. Yeah, very bullied in there as well. Other highlights for you? There were some highlights for EG as well. It wasn't all one-way traffic, was it? Yeah, those mid-game team fights where they decided to bring it back looked really good. We definitely saw some hope for, I think, EG. Just the fact that once the out came online with the low cooldown unstable concoction, that thing's just got like permanent uptime, stunning people left, right, and center. That's very hard to beat once like you get a lead and an edge in a team fight. That was one of the biggest changes to Alchemist this time, is the talent CD, right? It was like it was a couple patches ago, but people were like, oh, that's really interesting, and then finally like everyone was like, oh wow, that's really, really good. And now it's like a level 25 talent almost. Yeah, and like Alchemist heroes like used to fall off, and like maybe if you had like a really bad start, you were like, this hero's not that good. But like with this new stun talent where you're just stun locking hard carries that don't have BKBs, it's like he's good at any point in the game. And then you get the level 20 talent as well, and just being able to throw like a half-a-second concoction and just being able to do over 300 damage is just crazy. Couple scary team fights there for LGD towards the end, but the further you are in laning stage, the more mistakes you get to make. Okay, well, we're going to get some more thoughts from all three of you in just a moment. But first of all, let's check in with Shiva. She's presumably got some more scoops for us.
I do indeed. Thank you so much, Paul. I have been able to answer 3 questions for you today. The first question that I got was, which caster has the most games casted at an international? And the answer to that is actually fairly simple. I didn't really have to look up that much, because at TA2, there were some issues which got Vlad to be the only Russian caster on site, so he casted every single game, and his voice definitely didn't really agree with that, but he managed. It was an exciting tournament for him for sure, and that's why Vlad has the most games casted at an international. Second question is, why is the ultimate indicator sometimes yellow? And some of you might have already noticed this. Either it's black when they don't have it up, or it's green when they do have it up. But in between, you might see that the bar slowly ticks up to be yellow, and when it is fully yellow, it is almost up. So 10 to 15 seconds before their ultimate's back up again. That allows you to keep track of the cooldown timers of all the heroes without seeing actually the heroes individually. So that's an interesting one to keep an eye out on. And for the last question, I actually talked to Snaking and Universe about their sleeping habits, which was a question I got, because there's a lot of excitement and nerves going into TI and playing at an international. So the question basically was, how do you make sure you get enough sleep in exciting times like this? For Snaking, this is his 3rd international, and especially the first 2, there was a lot of nervousness, butterflies, but now he just tries to clear his mind and make sure that, for example, he plays some phone games, or more he talks to people not about Dota, just about anything else, just to keep his mind off of the Dota so he can actually get to sleep. For Universe, who has attended every single international, he said that the biggest trend was that players all around have been starting to look after their health way more than what they used to do, and this includes sleeping. So for example, going to the gym, getting a massage, just doing anything to just relax and relieve stress is super important to be able to be well rested so you can actually perform the next day, because good sleep makes a big difference. And I think that the players that are on stage right now definitely have had an amazing rest, because they look to be in incredible shape, Paul.
You're not wrong. They all do. They look like they've definitely had a good night's sleep. Someone else who may not have had a good night's sleep, however, who has been working supremely hard every single day and night, is, of course, our one and only Casey.
Hello! Not only do I work hard, I meet amazing people. Am I right or am I right? Yes! We've been out here practicing, so we'll see how this goes. What did you think of that last game?
I'm disappointed.
You're disappointed? I'm so sorry.
I don't know, Artur, man, my boy.
It hits you right here, doesn't
Yes,
it?
I'm from Vancouver, so.
Oh, nice. Thank you for having us.
No problem.
What about you? What did you think of that?
A bit disappointed too, but I'm pretty sure EG's gonna come back.
How many people think EG is going to come back and take game 2? How many people think LGD is going to take it in 2 games? What did you think of that first game?
It was amazing for LGD. I still think they're going to... I want the series to go to game 3, but I believe LGD can do this 2-1.
It's going to be really interesting. I think it's dividing the crowd, which is the best way to do it with Dota, right? We're all so passionate. Now, you guys remember the promise you made? We're off to a great start. You promised me you would dance. Ready? And go! I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what you guys are doing. That is, I'm just kidding. All right, come on. Can we get a lot of energy for game 2? And let's show everybody behind Myron. Myron, look, everybody's gathering just for you. To you, Paul, I can barely hear you, but I'm sure you're saying something very flattering. Or not.
That was really good, Casey. I wondered how she managed to bump into every single EG fan there as well. She's like, yeah, who's here for EG? And everyone cheers. Who's here for LGD? No one in the front row. No one whatsoever is cheering for LGD. Yet in here, it seems kind of nicely divided. We've kind of got a bit of both in the arena.
I think they were setting up. They were probably setting up the camera shoots, and all the EG fans were like, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom a little early," so they were already out there, ready for the game to be over.
I like the timing. I like that. Yeah, they've kind of. No, we've lost this one. That's good enough.
Yeah, let's get some.
Come back for game 2. It's all good. They lose their great seats though, which you always. How did you deal with that, by the way? Did you have like a posse of people with you, and they were like, "Whose turn is it to go and get the snacks? I'm going to look after the chairs."
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
I had a couple of friends with me, and they were able to always save some seats, throw some jackets down. You know,
right.
Make sure your jackets don't get stolen too.
You ever come back and find your seats have gone?
Yeah, well, we actually had one of our jackets stolen. I remember at TI2. That was unfortunate. Lost our seat as well. Yeah.
Lost the jacket and the seat.
The jacket and the seat.
That's not good. That's not good. It's better being here for sure. Let's look ahead to game number 2, gods. Somehow 7-0 on the Storm Spirit. Do we kind of want it for the second game?
I'm sure EG fans would be happy to see it. I don't think you can just blindly go in expecting to pick the hero, but it could be a nice pick-me-up.
Could be. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back your teams for the lower bracket final. Evil Geniuses making their 4th appearance in the top 3 at the International versus PSG LGD, also making their 4th appearance in the top 4 at the International. Which one is advancing to the grand final? Well, the streak says it's TI8, which is an even year, which means the Chinese team full of players that have never won the International will win again. Will the streak continue? We're going to find out over the next few hours, and certainly potentially in the next game. LGD just 1 game away from making the grand final here at TI8, but never write Evil Geniuses off. They've been in this position before and they know how to win. It seems that it doesn't matter what you put up against them, whether you try a funky draft, whether you've got really strong laning, it doesn't really seem to matter what you throw at them. They can come back.
Yeah, it's got to take an amazing amount of mental fortitude to be, not like an elimination series, that's one thing, to be one game away and know that you have to win 2 in a row just to be able to keep going. I think that's got to take a serious mental toll on a lot of players, but it seems like Evil Geniuses, they seem to be very comfortable with each other. It almost feels like they're still kind of in that honeymoon phase with S4 and Fly as well, so they seem to be in very high spirits. I think a lot of that comes down to their coach Boba, of course. When you see him coming out, he's always trying to get the crowd cheer for EG. That guy, I think, not just the strategy aspect, I think he's always willing to do whatever it takes to be able to keep the team's mind healthy.
Yeah. Now, Peter, what do you do? Because you guys don't have a coach, right? You're kind of effectively, you're like the coach and the captain, aren't you?
Motivational leader. Yeah. I really, I'm an inspirational guy. No, I think after you lose a game 1, it's really, really hard to like think that you spend like hours preparing for this match and then you come in and you just lose, right? It's like whatever, all these ideas you had, they didn't work, right? And maybe you can point out like why it didn't work. I think the biggest thing for EG in this matchup was that mid lane matchup. They thought that this Alchemist could lane against the Tiny, and it turns out he really just could not. And as a result, Earthshaker was allowed to just roam the map and win all 3 lanes for LGD, and that's got to shake EG to some extent, right? Like Alchemist is one of their comfort heroes, so they need to rethink this Tiny hero and maybe, reevaluate whether they want to ban it or pick it, or maybe they just want to stay away from that Alchemist when they do pick it. If Sumail can't do a better job against maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he set a brand new record at the International earlier this week, 31 kills in that Tiny. Which set a brand new record, which has stood since TI2. So we know he can play it, we know he's good on it. But as Peter said, that choice now is quite hard, isn't it, when you head into the game? So do I ban it? Do we play it? How do we do this?
Yeah, we've only seen 2 sides to Sumail. The let's play a Tiny and go around killing everyone, and then the let's farm with Alchemist. It seems like EG need to identify which is going to work best.
EG just took first pick for the second game, so they'll have that I call it the 18 pick, which is actually it's the 7th pick, or no, it's the 8th pick of the draft, right? And that's where we're going to see Sumail's hero most likely. It's going to be that Alchemist. It's going to be that Storm Spirit. It's going to be, what's his other hero?
Tiny. I mean, Tiny's.
Yeah, Tiny. That's the thing is, I don't think Tiny's making it all the way to 18. It's going to get picked on 2-3 or maybe 4 or out the phase.
Is that too early as well for Sumail? Is it too early for EG?
I mean, that's the cool thing about Tiny is that it's such a versatile hero, and we see LGD use it. Like you can Chalice played a ton of Tiny this tournament incredibly well, and now we see maybe playing it. I don't think he's played it very many times, but he played it very well. And then also, like, some teams will play it as a 4 as well. Like, I know Serenity with PYW, Zai plays it all the time. It's a very versatile hero, so you can really, I think you can pick it early if you want it.
You kind of looked at me like when you're saying Sumail heroes after saying Storm and Alk. Do you feel like, and like, hey, what other heroes he's played? Do you feel like he's had a small hero pool? Like, has that hurt EG a bit at this tournament?
I don't think he has a small hero pool. Like, I would love to see like Sumail maybe play like some Invoker or something like that. I think that hero can be really, really good for him and their team. It's just they've had these specific strategies that they've used to get them this far. They pick these Weavers, they pick these Ursas, they pick these Clinks, these incredibly strong side laners for S4 and Arteezy. And then when they win their lanes, Sumail gets that, he gets that 1v1 and nobody else can come touch him. But when he loses that 1v1 like he did in this last game, the game looks really weird for EG.
Okay. Time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. Game number 2 is just around the corner.
Evil Geniuses versus PSG LGD. Game 2.
Okay, draft underway momentarily. Just to finish off on the Sumail things, during the group stages, he played Tiny, Storm Spirit, Alchemist, Mirana, which has definitely dropped off during the main event. Kunkka, Ursa, Zeus, and Invoker. He has the smallest hero pool of any of the EG players during the group stage. So,
which is understandable. This game rotates around a couple of power picks, especially this late into the meta of this tournament. We've identified the heroes that they're looking to set up for, and I think it would be silly for them to, explore too far outside that comfort zone.
How much did you explore during that group stage?
During the group, I mean, I think Croaky talked a lot about it, and some of the other players talked about it in the interview, is everybody is just like watching what everybody else is doing and then like taking it immediately and being like, okay, this is what you do against this hero, this is what you do against that hero. And there was you just gotta try and pick it up as fast as you can. And I'm curious how much EG learned from even just that first game up here against LGD.
Is that the difference between teams now and maybe 3-4 years ago? Is that they learn faster?
You have to learn faster in order to keep up. So I guess so. Yeah. If you look at the most successful teams, LGD bans the Enchantress this time because they don't have the first pick, right? That was a hero that, although like Enchantress didn't seem to have like the biggest impact, I guess the heal was really, really nice against Venomancer and like the Gyrocopter AoE, but the Enchantress actually allowed FY to roam around on this Earthshaker during the laning phase instead of being stuck in this like 2-1-2 setup, and it really did put a lot of pressure on Alchemist. We saw all the, the crowd was going crazy over those fissures that he was stealing the hard camp creeps from Alchemist, and that kind of pressure, like, it definitely slowed him down.
Yeah, it takes away a little bit of that gold, takes away a lot of that experience, and just in general makes the Alchemist, especially the way that maybe played afterwards, right? Where he was just like, once he took that tower, it almost looked like Mid-Wan on the way he was playing his Clinks, and where he was just fearlessly diving into the enemy side of the map.
They found a scenario where they had 2 lane matchups where Ench could win her lane by herself and the Tiny's winning mid. So that's like the freest game for the 4 position to play.
Yeah, and Spectre was under a lot of pressure, but I was really, really impressed by the tier 1 tower defense that they had in that first game. They took this massive team fight. They brought just about everybody up there, I think, and it didn't look like they were going to win the fight until they did. They maybe had the really early Shadow Blade. I really liked the idea of him skipping that Blink Dagger and going for a more stat-based item. If you think about some of these items out here that cost, like, we have Blink Dagger, Boots of Travel, Midas. These items, and even like Radiance to some extent, they're almost backward items because they actually kind of make you weaker. Right? Like, I'm a big fan of heroes if they win their lanes to just continue with that momentum, buy that Drums of Endurance, buy that Shadow Blade, and just continue to build. Make yourself tankier, make yourself harder to kill, because if you win your lanes and then you die, the enemy team gets a lot of rebound gold from that.
I like the fact that you mentioned the safe lane tower defense, because that is actually something that's different than what Mid-1 would do, right? Mid-1 would invade the enemy's safe lane, take their tower away, and then take over that jungle area. But instead, LGD basically protect their safe lane tower, which also prevents evil geniuses from spreading into that jungle area,
I think they knew that they were just stronger because they had felt that they had won their lanes, and they were like, we are just stronger than them right now, and we should not concede anything.
Yep.
And one thing that I think a lot of like these mid players are doing when you have these like really, really one-sided mid lane matchups, or like let's just say you're in any lane as a core or a support and you're losing your lane, your first response is like, okay, we need to get this laning phase over with. We need to go somewhere else and do something else. But the proper response, I think, from the enemy team is, let's say the Alchemist starts going to the jungle, right? Tiny, he should go to the jungle too.
Yeah.
Right? Or if Alchemist goes top and tries to take that tower, Alchemist or Tiny should just follow him, because Alchemist, all he's trying to do is get away from this Tiny because he can't win the lane. Just follow him around and let your hero matchups carry you through the game.
Right. We have a couple of answers in our draft already. The Tiny is banned by Evil Geniuses, and they've opened with what Peter pulled out in game number 1, which is the Wraith Willow opener.
Yes.
Spectre for EG as well.
This combo has haunted me this tournament. It's like you don't want to waste one of your bans on these heroes, and you know they're not like these heroes don't have incredible wave clear, but their team fight is really good, and their laning is really, really good.
And the Lich coming to count for EG.
I honestly thought they were going to take Willow on EG first pick just to deny that combination.
I mean, Spectre first pick is pretty out there. We saw, I think the only other time we've seen this is Virtus Pro did it in one of their like early group stage games, and I believe they lost that game. It was there was an immediate response of an Undying, which PSG didn't go for, but the Wraith King Willow is nothing to.
Do you think it was blocking LGD from picking the hero? Are they scared that LGD were just going to first do it?
They went for it last pick last time, and I feel like they would do it. Maybe they would move up the priority a little bit. I feel like Spectre can be picked in the second phase on like 15 or 17 because he doesn't really have a ton of counters. But even in the last draft, they waited to pick it until 22. I'm surprised EG pushed up the priority on that hero that much. But with this Wraith King Willow, it puts a lot of pressure on your draft, because not only do you have to think about heroes that are good for the game, you also have to think about heroes that can just deal with this lane. And there's really not that many heroes that can have success here. Like we've seen a lot of Ursa's, which is banned, Weaver's, which is banned, Silencer, which is also banned. He's done decently well as like a backup for some carry, but I don't know if Spectre Lich can really hold up to that lane. It's, when that Wraith King stun comes out and the Willow Brood follows, does Spectre get away without, having to use a salve, at least?
In the group stages, they used an Ursa in the offlane to combat that.
Yeah,
Ursa. And it was Arteezy that actually moved out there.
Exactly.
With it as well,
Ursa just smacks around Wraith King, and to the point where like he doesn't want to go in. And Ursa's also just pretty tanky in lane, so he's just not afraid.
And then going into the mid game, you also have to worry about this Willow being able to just play inside your jungle all the time. Like, you want to be able to have some ways to deal with that Willow. Otherwise, she plays aggressively into you and either gets pickoffs or she ruins like your smoke ganks and all those timings.
Yeah, it's like also against this Willow hero, like your favorite heroes to pick are like Earthshaker and Earth Spirit, these heroes with these like vector stuns, right? But they're so bad in lane, right? Like, and you need something to help you get to deal with this lane, and those heroes just don't do it. Like, you want to pick like Undying or Treant Protector or maybe Elder Titan or something like this anti-melee kind of guy, but you're just not that happy playing.
So if Evil Genius is...
Sorry, have you still got this love affair with Undying?
I know he's one of your favorite heroes.
But he's one of yours. You seem to be playing him a lot recently. Like about a few months ago, I remember you saying to me, I've just discovered how easy it is to play this thing and how good it is.
He can be pretty good. He can be pretty good. But we saw in that last game, like if you're not ahead and you're not able to actually win these team fights, the hero feels pretty underwhelming. And I liked it in the last game for EG, but they were just lacking like solid lockdown.
Yeah,
right?
It's been used a lot against the Wraith King, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very good against Wraith King. Like, you just spam Decay in lane and you click him, but you still need a good core matchup because we played an Undying up against the Wraith King Willow, and sure, I was running around spamming Decay on the Wraith King, and he was kind of running around, but he's got this range stun that he would eventually just like land on my carry, and then Willow would just be laning against my carry, and Willow's strong in her own sense.
Yeah. Well, one of those heroes is going to be banned away that you mentioned earlier, the Earthshaker. I feel like Pugna is also very strong versus Dark Willow. Wow.
Warlock, huh? I'm very confused by that pick.
Well, you were saying something about like how with the Earthshaker, like it's not the best laner, but you're presuming Evil Genius are going to run like a very, very oppressive offlane, right?
Terrorblade's banned. They're going to pick a hard carry here, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. There's no Spectre, there's no Terrorblade.
There's still PL.
Yep.
There's... I don't know. It's like if you pick this Warlock here out the phase on 15, and then it kind of allows you to pick whatever you want for the lane, because Warlock's just going to heal them through this like Lich harass, right? My one concern is that I feel like Lich, as a hero, he denies creeps, and I feel like that's the biggest weakness to a Warlock lane, because realistically, if you're laning up against a Warlock, he's just going to heal the core, and the core is going to hit creeps. And if you can just win that CS matchup, like I'm big fans of like Treant Protector and Magnus and these heroes with high attack damage that can just win the CS war, because Warlock's not going to be putting a lot of harass into that lane. He just wants to like watch his carry farm, and he wants the enemy team to click his carry and for him to just like sit there and heal him.
This is a super early couple of core picks, Regi. They're not renowned for this. These early pickups, aren't they?
Oh yeah, the Mirana is. I mean, the Spectre first pick, I definitely did not see that coming. The Mirana out the phase, it can actually lane decently well against the Wraith King Willow. I think that's probably their goal here. Is you just stay at far range, you have the leap if things get dicey, and I mean throughout the game, like you have some, it's just a good hero. The Moonlight Shadow is such a maybe not underrated thing anymore, but yeah, there's that hard carry option. I'd like the Luna. It's this hero has been forgotten this tournament.
Yes.
But the thing about this hero, he has natural farming ability, and he farms faster than like any carries, right? If there's not like a Battle Fury carry in the game, Luna is going to outfarm them.
They've now picked two heroes that were only played twice apiece during the group stage, and neither of them won. That's both the Warlock and the Luna.
So the important thing with this hero then is to be able to make sure that you win the laning phase, but also don't lose any map control. That way you have the space for the Luna to be able to accelerate. You want to have control of your Ancients, maybe even farm the enemy Ancients as well.
It's been the counter to Lich, right? Like Lich brings back all the waves onto your side of the map, and Luna just wants to go push.
Yep. And something you've been talking about is like, hey, this Spectre Lich, like, the Wraith King and Dark Willow, who wants to lane against it? You're kind of been playing Spectre Lich as likely to the off lane, and now I feel like Spectre, whether you're in the off lane or the safe lane, either lane looks pretty rough right now.
Yeah. That's probably their laner to go up against the Wraith King Willow, and I guess they're most likely going to pick Crit's hero here last.
Sumail playing the Mirana?
Yeah, I would think so.
You'd imagine it's Necro with S4 and Spectre with Arteezy?
Definitely. Well, they could do Necro mid and pot him in a side lane, but I think that you probably just want to put Necro in a side lane here.
Yeah. In fact, actually looking back through that group stage, S4 did play that Mirana twice, as well as Sumail playing it twice, so they've got a little bit of flex there.
Yeah, so heroes to look out for this last pick for LGD. Mirana can lane up against the Huskar. Necrophos can lane up against the Broodmother. Alchemist is unbanned, but
and
potentially
no
still
one plays
potentially
the
still
Meepo?
picked. I don't think any of these teams are playing Meepo. I think that I would worry about maybe like a Dragonite hero, something that lanes really well up against Mirana. Mirana just kind of wants to right-click and bully the enemy heroes with her right-click damage, and Dragonite with the base armor and regen with Dragon's Blood just doesn't give a care at all.
It also looks like they want to play very fast. Like with Luna and this Wraith King Dark Willow lane, they push towers.
They do. They want to just end this game before Spectre comes online. And I think that right now they're definitely like showing their hand.
What are AG missing?
Big team fight.
Yeah, big team fight.
Elder
So
tight.
do you want a Tusk in there?
Tusk actually just got banned.
Oh, he did. Okay.
So, you know, I like where your head's at. You're with it.
Wyvern into any of these Dro or Luna lineups can always be a bit hard. They're going to be pushing into you pretty heavily. You need those really big team fight spells, right?
Wyvern could work. Wyvern could work.
There's the Phoenix as well, but that's only Fly playing that as well as the Lich.
I feel like Crick could play some Phoenix, but it would be a little bit strange. I don't think we've seen him on that hero just yet. Lina ban, so maybe they do want to put the Necrophos mid. That's a traditional lane. It's a really good matchup for Lina throughout the game. Also, EG's really low on stuns right now. They've got Necro Scythe and Bottom Arrow. There you go. There's some team fight, right? If you got the skills, I think Crit's got the skills.
Oh yeah. His second most played hero of all time. He's at 166 career games on that Rubik.
It's a little bit weak in lane to Wraith King Dark Willow, but I think that the Necrophos will help them get through it.
Well, ding dong, the Admiral's in town.
Yep, and that's your Kunkka mid up against this Mirana with the Tidebringer auto attack. It's going to be so hard for Sumail to contest CS in this lane.
Yeah, Arme's gone on to the Luna. Nova's on the Warlock, of course, and Chalice on the Wraith King.
They're thinking about the hero matchups. I feel like maybe they're considering putting this Necro mid because I don't know how well Mirana's going to do in this matchup.
Especially with the catch that Kunkka naturally gives you. I was thinking about Ember Spirit. I think like any sort of catch mechanisms for PSG LGD, they just want to force these fights because they have the superior team fight so early.
All right, so Sumail's going to go on the Necro here, and they are going to switch it up. Estel will move to the off lane with the Mirana. And Fly, of course, on the Lich. Artesia on the Spectre. Right, let's get some thoughts now from Bulba, who's with Casey.
Yeah, Bulba, you hear people cheering your name as you walk down here. I'm curious what kind of a game you're expecting from LGD based on their draft.
They play kind of the same game, play style every game, but they just play really well. They have really good players, so we kind of, just like a lot of little things in each of these games that can change one thing. The last game, they won, but I think a few things kind of went down to why they won. So just like very little things happen in all these games. So it's a lot right now. It's like you just draft some heroes and you just play, and yeah, so.
Good luck, Bulba. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, does the road end here for Evil Geniuses? RLGD about to make the grand final. Let's head into game number 2 with Lyrical and Trent.
In the words of the coach, you draft some heroes, you play some Dota. One's done, now to start the other. Trent, what do you think about that draft?
It sounds so simple, doesn't it? Just pick the heroes and play. How hard can it be? But I don't know, some heroes, they seem to really have a rise when it comes to TI, and I feel like Luna is one of them. You know, she makes these random appearances, sometimes the replacement for the Gyrocopter. Sometimes you just need a little bit of aggression in that lane. All the hard carries were banned out, and so here she is, Nova, coming to join the party here, backed up by the ex-Nova Warlock.
It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch, I feel like, in this game number 2. Like the panel was saying, EG backs up against the rope. They need to win this if they want to keep their TI hopes alive and push it to a game number 3. The other thing that I'm really curious about and I want to see is this Kunkka. I love this hero, always provides so much entertainment and maybe one of the best in the world at it.
Yeah, certainly so, and all that catch, like, I think there was some hesitation about the Necrophos too. Just going to be a bit of a rough game, obviously, against a lot of magic damage there, coming up from the Dark Willow, from the Luna, from the Kunkka. Your Ghost Shroud is going to be very risky this game.
And you can see LGD spirits are high as they're cackling to themselves inside the booth, already feeling quite good about it. But it does sort of bring up a lot of questions here now. Last game, we saw the Spectre just sort of take over eventually. EG saying, all right, we're done with that mess. We're just going to take it first overall. Do you think that that was the right decision? I mean, what are they sort of losing out on by taking the Spectre this early?
We've seen a couple teams attempt it, going for this first phase Spectre throughout TI, and some of them have won their games. It just seems that, like, even if you know this hero's coming, if you think you can beat out the timing, a lot of teams have thought that. Be it a first pick Spectre or a late pick Spectre, they seem to think, okay, we can push, we can beat the Spectre, but every time that Spectre seems to battle on back.
They do have one of the better heroes in the game for keeping that pressure going, as we're going to see the bounty runes traded off, 2 apiece for each team. In the Kunkka, you talk about the X marks the spot, you TP back home, you can just keep a push going that otherwise might not have been able to conclude.
Yeah, sustain from that, sustain from the Warlock. Heavy team fight coming in with that ultimate when you need it. And all it takes is one fight. Much like Terrorblade, a hero Ame loves, Luna can do the exact same thing. Take a rack on an instant.
You see that they're set up trying to find a kill, and wisely Fly is not going to be the one that runs into him.
Yeah, going to go for the TP. Back to the wave in time for RTZ. So that means his TP is being used already. No switching lanes for the Spectre.
Top lane, Fly was still being sort of zoned out there. As mid lane, we talked about some of the issues that you might run into. They did not send the Mirana mid. Instead, it's going to be Somnus playing against the Necrophos, played by Sumail. Still runs into some damage issues here. Tidebringer giving you that bonus damage on denies.
Yeah, can be some tough issues there for all Sumail, but as long as he can secure some denies and some assets, of course, the regen is there to help sustain against the constant harass of something like the Tidebringer. I think the bottom lane also going to be very interesting, of course, as we have a Rubik now in this game, one of these heroes that also tends to show up big at TI.
Oh, a couple denies there, Sumail doing and crunching the numbers.
Yeah, very nicely done. Get those Death Pulse stacks going. But the Rubik, much like the Earthshaker, you need a very good partner in lane to make it work.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little bit tough for him, too. You look at this, you have the Lunar Blessing, level 1 for the Luna to get that extra bits of damage as mid lane. Somnus just going to pop that salve. And meanwhile, leaping forward. S4 wants to find a kill. The Fairy Fire keeping him alive for the moment with the right clicks coming through, and Crit taking first blood.
Fantastic hero to get first blood on. They're already moving Crit over to the camp whenever they go for the arrow to share that experience. Now he gets the first blood. These early items just so crucial, especially when you're starting relatively poor. Means he'll get into boots pretty early in this one. And now a stack too. I want to make sure that they can get these arrow creeps ready.
Sumail doing a little bit of magic there with the creep wave as Crit trying to get the pull off and was able to succeed.
There was a block there from the Radiant though. They put a sentry in the camp to ensure there wouldn't be a secondary stack there, and they'll have to take it out now from Crit. So nice play there from X-Nova. That will be worth it just to slow down the bigger creep spawning for the arrow and make it more difficult for EG to control the lane that way as far as to actually tank up a lot of the wave.
Yeah, so far, it's still Arteezy not having the greatest time trying to last another tower. Wants to get a Quelling Blade, but because LG has been pushing the tower with the creeps, he hasn't been able to get to the side shot yet.
Yeah, likewise for the Luna, not going all too well, but she does get a full wave now, so she'll catch on up and surpass Arteezy in a moment here.
He's just trying to mess with FY as he moves over to contest for this pull. We saw such a good game from him last time on the Earthshaker. Can be a hero on the Stark Willow that can also make similar types of plays, just game-winning engagements.
Yeah, they're having a hard time getting that pressure on the Spectre that you really want, though, right? You want this Wraith King stun into the Bramble instantly, all of this punishment, but the Lich always able to hold back the wave, be it by sacrifice or be it by just simply pulling the camp. When it is out this far, though, that's where Arteezy has to be very cautious.
Yeah. Mid lane still just trading farm, and Sumail, staying true to his sort of mantra, is going to be able to lead in the CS right now. 17-7, another deny there.
Look at his itemization. He already has the double null going, has a wand and a Fairy Fire too, so plenty of damage stacked on this Necrophos.
Sort of, you keep giving him these tools with the heal onto his own creeps, he can kind of mess up the CS that normally looks easy for a Kunkka. And 3 minutes in now, we see down bottom, there hasn't been that much more aggression, but as we've seen already, the leap charges could come out and possibly spell doom to X-Nova if he steps too far forward.
Yeah, much like how Ame went down, it can just be over in an instant, but trying to keep their HP topped up. You can see X-Nova not really prioritizing himself at all with the heals, trying to get by on only tangos, maybe thinking he can get them to go on him here. He's playing very aggressively.
And the arrow comes out, they found him. A quick hit there onto X-Nova, and he dies.
Maybe out of practice on the Warlock. I feel like when Warlock's been successful, you got to stay in the box. You don't leave the tower. Anytime you wander around there, that's when you go down.
It's going to have to come back to lane again. Meanwhile, mid, maybe sort of abusing for the moment, as we see there. And again, the CS mess up caused by Sumail. It's the X mark and then TP back, come back with full HP, as well as a bracer.
Yeah, maybe heavily suffering here, though.
Very cool matchup. Play by Sumail as he's pushing him further back, and he just TP'd. He's going to have to use up this Tango, and now kind of needs to play scared once Sumail gets 6.
Yeah. Likewise, though, again, that whole magic damage, there's certainly a big swing around when it comes to the levels stacking up on top of this Kunkka, going for big boat combos. Necros has to be cautious not to get fully one-shotted. If there's a roaming rotation with the Dark Willow as well, there won't be any time to go Shroud.
I did see.
Down bottom, Ame caught
In trouble. Ame chased down, and with another leap, they secure that kill.
Look at
S4
playing so far past the wave there.
S4 has been involved in all of the kills down bottom lane. This has been a hell of a game for him so far. Stun up in the top. FY wanting to make something in return. They have the brambles. They're rooted. The Cursed Crown is going to connect. And Arteezy potentially going to be dove under the tower. LGD, they try and dodge away. He gets through the trees and able to escape.
Nice use of the dagger there from Arteezy, but now they move on to Fly, but those long cooldowns for the Dark Willow will mean there won't be any follow-up left for the Bramble Maze. And Dark Willow's just coming online too at level 3. You really want that first kill.
Chalice turned around on as Arteezy is just going to lay into him. The punches come in return, though, and well, they can keep playing aggressive on this Spectre. Whenever there is a creep wave underneath that tower, is FY going to try and go for this pull and get the creep wave into a favorable position.
Yeah, Arteezy just surviving with these raindrops, though. Trying to counter some of this constant aggression coming out. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the Scythe threat is there from Sumail, so maybe just going to have to try and buy the sign here before he gets his own 6, and that means he's going to be zoned away from this catapult.
Sumail is doing so good on these CSing. He keeps on getting denies on the Kunkka creeps, and that's sort of the reason, one of the reasons that you take this here is to be a lane dominator with that Tidebringer.
Yeah, and I'm surprised he's able to play so aggressive, too. He just has full confidence in this lane that there won't be a rotation coming in from FY, because if he does get caught by a Torrent into a Bramble Maze, there is some potential there if there's not enough stacks on the Magic Wand.
Farming out, trying to deal with those illusion pressure that came to the top side. As 6.5 minutes in, it's been relatively quiet with the exception of that bottom lane. A couple of dives here and there that haven't amounted to other kills.
Oh, Crit coming through here with a great ward in the mid lane. They know they want to pressure onto Sumail, but speaking of pressure,
top lane, Cursed Crown comes through. Chalice gets the Mortal Strike. The Bramble Maze is down. And going into the Shadow Realm, can they kill him off in time? Yes. Oh, the Fade Bolt, though. Crit says no, and now turns on to FY. He's already used the Shadow Realm, trying to run away from him here and pull him into the Bramble Maze as well. Fly moving into position with the Frost Blast, but with the TP out, FY is going to be okay.
Yeah, nice using the Brambles there for cover to retreat, but once again, it's Crit showing up. He has 3 kills already on the Rubik. He has Arcane Boots.
And X, Sumail far underneath the tower is going to be found. The Ghost Shroud is there. A lot of magical damage. He still has the Magic Stick, though. And now walking away from them after the Ghost Shroud. Somnus needs to be careful. He turns with the Reaper Sight bringing him low, but there's the Ghost Bump that kept him alive.
Oh.
Gotta remember the rum.
Dangerous play there, going for that kill without the Dark Willow, but it will work out in the end thanks to the rum there. So Sumail overextends, maybe that ward giving a bit too much confidence this time, as his 2 supports are smoked up. Seeing Chalice rotate in, but that point is still being held now. Possibilities for reincarnation turnaround, however, seems unlikely with how far away he is from the tower.
Yeah, Chalice definitely under fire here as they have the lift. He will skill it. So Chalice decided to turn around and try and come back for a second life. Wants to get a kill on to Fly. The chase is there. The punch is coming. He is going to be slowed after the fact. And with another Wraithfire Blast, might be able to find him. But Fly fogging away.
He might live.
Skeletons are still going. And instead, they might turn it on to Crit as Chalice of LGD finds the kill.
Well, not often you get to rotate at 8 minutes and get a kill streak from a support, but maybe very happy to find one. Good choice there with the rotation. Chalice confident in support from his friends, and there's even more lined up here from FY.
They ran into the Brambles, the Torrent, it connects, they got the boat, it's coming down on top of the head of Arteezy as the Mortal Strike secures it.
LGD applying this pressure so well, but EG, they will try and put as much as they can in the mid lane too. X-Nova here just to soak up this experience as much as possible, while all this attention drawn away from Ame in that bottom lane, slowly trying to become a threat for the side of LGD.
This is where things can get so scary very quickly. The Kunkka's rotations, but
another Bramble.
They lay it down. Trying to hold back for the moment, but it looks like EG are going to possibly be able to secure this tower. They're going to look for the deny. The Cursed Crown coming in. Ame with the Eclipse. He's found one. Crit in trouble. It's starting to fall. They're going to be able to find that kill and possibly more. Sumail wanted to go for the ulti there possibly, but there's the Lucent Beam. The turnaround looking for the finish, and Sumail backing out. Yet again, Reaper Scythe is back up in 1 second.
Yeah, but how about the timing on that Cursed Crown? They secure the deny there from X-Nova, sneaks it in, and takes away a little bit of that advantage from EG that they were hunting for.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
9.5 minutes into this one. It's 9 kills. We get closer and closer to the level 6s, and it feels like there's a lot of huge ultimates in this game.
Yeah, S4 though being completely left alone. he's able to help pressure into this tower. XO makes the rotation over, and that vision.
Well, sidesteps the arrow, still got the heal coming through. They get to the
pop
shrine,
for
living
Chalice.
through it. Chalice shows up, saving his buddy, and they throw out the Wraithfire Blast. He's low on mana, and now Mirana in trouble. Does have another leap. They're chasing forward. The Curse Crown connects. Can they find S4? They're going to split up for the moment. And the lift should secure the retreat as, well, the Haunt comes in as well. A little bit of a messy engagement as they throw the stun onto one and trying to find this kill onto X-Nova. Arteezy very deep, and they don't secure anything with that Haunt.
Yeah, have to be a little bit cautious there. FY holding that Bedlam. Even level 1, a very scary skill to run into. Trying to predict those wards that have come out now from EG. They'll miss the mark, at least on that prediction.
Well,
Sumail still pressing forward here, feeling confident as can be with that ice armor.
And he is very, very willing to go in right now, and just need to be a little bit aware of any potential movements. I mean, Ame is not even in the bottom lane right now. They know that Eclipse is on cooldown, and so they're feeling confident chasing forward for Chalice, who is going to get pummeled into the dust. Dies, no reincarnation that time. X-Nova with the upheaval. S4 is walking into this. The Bedlam needs to leap away. All that magical damage, incredibly hard to deal with, and now Crit able to steal it away from him. That is a big pickup, taking that Bedlam.
This is pretty dangerous. There's no core rotations that can come here for LGD.
FY.
He might escape, but they saw that upheaval, and there's no TP back here for X-Nova.
In the meantime, mid lane, Sumail gonna get hit by the Torrent. They drop down the ship as well. The Tidebringer, isn't enough damage. Sumail gets the Ghost Shroud. Able to live through.
Playing to the absolute limit there, and that's now 50 seconds where maybe it won't be around to get successful kills or maybe even defend that bottom tower. But X-Nova, he held it strong. They'll rotate Chalice back down there. Now has the reincarnation back up, so a better chance at actually holding it, as well as possible rotations from Ame with that Eclipse if they need it.
I mean, this is really sort of the scary thing, I would say, about the draft from LGD is Luna's kind of been left alone to free farm over the last couple of minutes. Didn't have the best laning stage in the world, but now starting to catch up a bit. As Somnus holding on to a DD rune.
Yeah, it still takes quite a bit for the Luna, though, so we're back to that same game one plan, right? It's now up to maybe to try and make these plays across the game on this Kunkka. Doesn't quite have the ultimate backup, but in combination with the Dark Will, this is an insane amount of damage, even for a Spectre.
They're moving up top. They're trying to find him. FY's smokes break.
So hard to play in the trees versus this Bramble.
They want to find him. There's also Ame in the area, and Arteezy not showing on map is able to dodge away from that gank. If he shows here, though, for even a moment, Ame might make the call for them to rotate in, and these heroes moving down to the south. Arteezy shows the chase coming. Crit is there as well. He has the Bedlam. They take down the Luna right at the get-go, but now they have the Axe, the Torrent, the boat. It's going to come out again in a second, but no, it's only onto one, and Arteezy just TPing away. They drop down the Chaotic Offering. The boat on top of it. Arteezy caught and killed.
A relatively even trade in the end there, as they, of course, lost their Luna too, but really pleased with getting the turnaround there from LGD, as there was a gold lead there for the Radiant, or for the Dire rather, so you get a little bit of a bonus there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And a deep ward placed down here from Fly. Looks like it might have been spotted by Chalice, possibly not. It's rather close.
Kind of a cool build from the Wraith King going right into the Spirit Vessel. That arrow dodge might alert for the presence of wards in the area, though I think he just saw it coming.
Yeah, and with the hood already picked up for Sumail, he's building layers here. He's opting for the Veil after. And that means he's going to be pretty late on any sort of a Yules or something to counter out that Spirit Vessel if he can get it quick enough here on Chalice. But with how much they're brawling, and again, it comes back to this idea of just sustaining, trying to keep these pressures up when the Luna's ready to go with that Mask of Madness.
How quickly can she come online?
Nice scan here from EG. They'll spot out the fact that maybe is lurking up top, looking for Arteezy, so he retreats into the trees.
I mean, this is such a scary time to be playing against a Kunkka. The 4 points in X means that any initiation is going to have a Torrent Boat follow-up. And then on top of that, he's been able to build into that 40 damage talent just for that extra little bit of burst.
Oh, FY is going to get found out here after just using the Bedlam to farm up.
Goes into the Shadow Realm. Chalice is there. The Moonlight Shadow. EG walking forward. They see FY in the area, steal away the Wraithfire Blast, and looks like they're going to go for Chalice first, while also trying to take down the kill onto FY. 2 quick kills could be a win here for them as they also commit the Haunt. The Ghost Ship to try and secure the retreat, but Arteezy on the backside takes down Ame, left completely alone, and now Chalice in his second life is looking like he might end up falling. EG making the plays with a 2,000 gold lead.
Yep, great abuse of the Warlock cooldown there. Knowing that they can pressure in deep like this. You're going to try and go for something here off the Torrent, but no boat able to follow up. No other heroes, so No real problem there for EG. Good use of that forward vision that was placed down from Fly earlier on. Looked like they have a much more well-planned out game plan, strategy in the first half of the game. Felt like EG couldn't really find that forward vision and get any good smokes going in the first game, but this time it's them who are pressuring deeper into enemy territory.
And both of the cores right now, for both EG and LGD, feeling like they're just having a rough game. Arteezy only 200 gold ahead of this Luna, and both of them below all the other cores in the game. Based upon this play, it does feel like maybe it's going to need to be Somnus himself to make that space for LGD.
Look at Sumail, though, wrapping around here once again. Might be able to sandwich LGD, but will Arteezy survive?
In the top lane, they got him caught. There's in the jungle. The boat is going to land. The Bedlam on top of that Spectre. They try and turn it, but it's not going to happen quickly enough. They might be able to bring down Chalice, still living through it with that boat buff. Keeping him alive. The chase for more Crit, trying to run. Is he living? He actually survives. And now Crit gets hit with the Tidebringer. 2 down.
Oh, what a save with the Urn coming in there. Chalice able to keep himself up.
16 minutes, 9-8. It's only 1,000 gold lead. A very tenuous game number 2.
Yeah, EG will get pressured in the mid lane too with that catapult, so they'll be forced to deny their own mid tower. But at the very least, that means it won't be going over the side of LGD as S4 secures one for themselves, the catapult of his own in the bottom half of the map. And now Moonlight Shadow available in case there's any more of this aggression from LGD. They have the Warlock ulti, the Chaotic Offering ready to go if they need it. It'll be harder for EG to actually press through. And look, playing like Crit last game, I feel like, or rather last night, FY just camping himself in enemy territory, looking for these solo pickoffs.
Somnus, though, the big Tidebringer. There's the X. There's going to be the follow-up afterwards with the Torrent connects. Can they find the kill? Another Tidebringer shot? No, it's not going to be there, though. He's invis there. He walked in. Able to find him.
S4 trying to push the limits there. He does force a lot of rotations down there. If that means it's buying time for Arteezy, it just might be worth it. They need to get the Spectre going. The other 2 cores far ahead of him on their team.
And you got to imagine that now you're going to be playing a lot more carefully as EG with that Shadow Blade reveal on the Kunkka.
Yeah, and the problem now is that they have the Chaotic Offering and they have the Eclipse. They just want to pressure into this bottom tower. And Haunt will be up, but you're still not quite ready to fight. In fact, Arteezy, he knows he's going to be involved in these, so he is going straight for that Blade Mail. A lot of uncontrollable damage here from LGD. Might accidentally get a couple deaths going, but we often see that the boat rum effect can be very strong against Blade Mails.
And Ame laying into that tower. They bring in Crit, gonna get the lift to start the fight, and they have the Torrent, the Chaotic Offering down, Ame living, but not long enough. The boat's gonna be there, but can it kill off Sumail? I don't think so, at least for now. They have the upheaval onto several. They throw out the Terrorize, not bad with the Starstorm follow-up. They take him down very low and are gonna be able to find the kill. FY almost dead, Arteezy also falling. So already 3 dead for LGD, and EG trying to take this one. They chase down Somnus, a double kill for S4, and now last but not least is the Wraith King.
This time the fight is just much better executed coming up from EGD. LGD, you have Ame, he's just stuck up front. He dies way too quickly. Chaotic Offering isn't there in time for the save. You lose all of your damage of your Luna. And then S4 coming through, finds the arrow on the Dark Willow, slows her up during that Shadow Realm. They don't get any big combination with Terrorize, Brambles, Bedlam. You can just see almost more than double the damage from EG in that fight. Wasn't really much of a fight at all.
And this sort of harkens back to what we were talking about before, the lack of farm that you got on Ame. This hero is not tanky enough to survive that combination as FY. Looks like he's going to try and live for the moment. He throws out the Bedlam, seeing if he can kill off Fly, but no luck at all as they are able to kill down FY. Again, harkening back to the issue, you just can't survive through that burst.
And now Arteezy with that Blade Mail. He's ready for these fights. He wants to push himself in towards that Yasha and the Manta. And if he can just keep focusing down Ame during these fights, they're going to have some real problems. They don't have that true save unless you're going to drop the Chaotic Offering right away there. I felt like it was just a bit too late from Xnova that time.
And also, using the Chaotic Offering means that you're that much less able to fight right now for LGD. And EG going to be trying to take advantage of that, farming across the entire map. As Xnova smoked out Chalice and Somnus, possibly looking for a kill here onto Crit. Tasty treat as there's going to be the X, the Torrent, it connects, the Wraith Fire Blast follow-up, and they get themselves a kill.
This game there is definitely a stronger Roche threat as well, I would say, from the side of LGD, just with the combination of the Wraith King as well as the Chaotic Offering, just controlling the whole pit and all that overall damage from the Luna. Feels very strong for LGD if they can get a good hold of this part of the map. But Sumail constantly doing a good job pushing this out. Looks like they're going to draw a big line from Crit. He seems to think there's going to be a wraparound onto Sumail, so he'll retreat back, and it's pretty correct. Use the Moonlight Shadow to scout this. As the bounty runes are coming up, they know there's going to be heroes here.
Looking for that initiation. Chalice, they have the Reaper's Sight just to hold them in place for the moment until the Bramble Maze is actually able to turn it, though, and they take down S4.
Maybe thinking it was just going to be a sole hero there, but not enough damage in time there, so Chalice gets away with one when he didn't have the reincarnation.
X-Nova immediately going to be dewarded, but still, it is a big kill for them, taking down that Mirana, while Ame going to try and farm out EG's side of the map, realizes no Ancients here, just try and steal away.
Yeah, this Luna, only the Mask Madness, not too scary, but once again, that Manta, and then the BKB after. Things perhaps feeling a little bit more dicey there, but another great steal there from Crit. Gets himself the Bedlam.
I mean, he had a great Willow game yesterday. It looks like he might have another one today. Already playing it. Trying to get towards that Yule Scepter. And as we've seen, Arteezy being a lot more involved in this fight means that he's fallen a little bit behind the Luna now, who's starting to catch up. It's still maybe that's sitting top of the net worth.
Arteezy needs fights too, because he's gone for this Blade Mail build. He doesn't have a farm acceleration item like the Luna does with the Mask of Madness. So the less that they're fighting for the side of EG, the slower he's going to be pacing. But at the same time, they obviously can only really fight when the Scythe is up and available. They have to wait for that for Sumail. And Sumail, because of the way he started out, by trying to dominate the lane with the double nulls, he goes in towards the Veil. Then he feels like he needs the Hood, because there is this ridiculous amount of magic damage from the side of LGD. But that means he's not going to be able to get anything to dispel the Spirit Vessel early on in this game, as he wants to go in towards that Radiance to have it available for his team, because Arteezy's not purchasing it. So it'll be interesting to see if Chalice can really punish him because of that, as they go after Fly using a Spirit Vessel charge, and we'll now add 2 to the pile here for LGD.
Pick up there for them, and now EG, again, sort of spread out around the map. They have Reaper's Scythe back and available in 10 seconds if they decide that they want to fight, but as we mentioned earlier, the scary thing, Chaotic Offering is back up. They're going to have Reincarnation there and available, Eclipse, all of these big ultimates. And is there a side that you feel like sort of needs to take these engagements more often in this game? Maybe one that scales better into the late game?
Heading late, I think we're just going to favor Spectre. We're just going with that. You know,
okay.
It's a pretty good hero in that sense, but LGD, they definitely have a better lineup for just pushing forward right now. I think they haven't gotten as much out of it as they could have with this lineup. I would say EG have been playing very well. Keep this one as an even game. Feels like they just had like way too many movements early on. Things that perhaps LGD weren't really expecting. And a lot of downtime on some of these ultimates for LGD. Like they've had Chaotic Offering for a long while, not really finding the way to use it. Not a ton of solo pickoffs really right now for FY. And EG, they push forward here. Don't even drop any aggressive wards, really, and they're still able to secure most of this tower.
There's the blink reveal, and Sumail caught yet again. The boat's down. They have the Chaotic Offering, everything, but Sumail's still living through that one after the fact. Arteezy on the backlines finding X-Nova. He's throwing out the upheaval now, which is slowing down EG so much, and they're cut into this miasma of despair. Although they are able to turn it, the Eclipse turnaround isn't enough. The Blade Mail, a triple kill for Arteezy. And now finding more here as well. It's going to be the Rubik dead, a double kill for Chalice, and they found another. Fly, the captain, trying to run. Somnus pulls him back in. He's stuck again to the side, trying to get out of there, but they will eventually hunt down and kill off the Lich.
Maybe just such an important hero to keep alive during this. I feel like he really needs that next big item to try and fully secure this game for his Luna. Did the ton of damage. Actually, so did Chalice, considering this Wraith King is basically blinking in there. 2,400. And Arteezy's Blade Mail, it paid off. Got a couple of kills, a triple kill for himself. But the fight is secured. The tower is saved for LGD.
Now, it was a big comeback for him, but as we can see on the net worth, it's starting to feel like LGD's heroes are eclipsing those of EG after that last fight. Only 1,000 gold still separating these two squads.
It's going to be so much chaos in these fights now for FY, as well as Ame, hopefully, to work around if you're on the side of LGD, right? If you can get into this BKB for Ame, he's going to feel like you kind of have to commit the Scythe almost sometimes. See if you can burst him down, but then there's going to be this rum reduction, and maybe he's going to be trying to make as much space as possible in combination with Chalice. These BKBs are pretty brutal. Looks like that smoke was spotted from the side of EG. They draw a line predicting that they were going straight towards Roche and then onto the high ground, but won't be correct. They're actually wrapping around the other way. So EG going to be trying to hold this high ground here and set up for a big arrow play here from S4 potentially.
Yeah.
Trying to bait out Fly at the forefront.
Well, in the last couple of minutes, you did see the Spectre get to level 15, getting into more of those stats. Just all of these items and abilities to try and keep him alive.
I believe we call this the dangler. The smoked up entire team around Sumail right now. Like, oh, they wanted smoke. You know, they're trying to find this big kill. So we're going to sit all around him.
Somnus maybe going to take the bait. He's just going to go for the X play and then immediately afterwards into pushing out the creep wave. But they have maybe found another Ame. Realize trouble's a-coming. They're trying to chase. They have some leaps.
Lockdown problems again for EG. They don't have these really guaranteed stuns. No real long initiation for him. I mean, you look at LGD, those kind of moments, you can just drop the rock. You can try and throw it a Curse Crown, at least give some chance of a chase. Or you can even go for an X mark. Nothing that's too simple right now for EG. And now a Blade Mail picked up for Chalice. Plenty of uncontrollable damage on the side of EG as well. But at the very least, that big rotation did secure this tower. They've gone for the beating, but Arteezy.
He's caught again. There's the X. There's the Torrent. Everything connects. He's falling out. No, he haunts away, but still going to be killed off. Neutral creep denied.
Oh, Arteezy finds Ame doing the Ancients, and the Prowlers he hates saves his bacon and get the kill. The boys finally pay off for old Arteezy.
They got him. Random in the All-Star match, but here it happens. It's still going to be a BKB finished off for Ame.
No, he's spotted out here, though. We'll use the BKB.
Just going to run after Sumail, but needs to get out of there.
Yeah, there is a Yule Scepter there, so a little bit difficult to go for that kill in combination with the Yules, and then he's going to have the Death Pulse to go with his Ghost Shroud, so backing away likely the best choice. And they'll be happy on EG2 that they at least burned that 10-second BKB.
Still a 3,000 gold lead for LGD as Somnus looking for initiation on the fly, but can't quite get in range for that X. They have burned through a couple of those BKB charges already as they will head to the top side.
Yeah, Chalice and his army are just pushing in this tower. He is the Reincarnation. He's a Blade Mill. Not an easy target to force off here as the Skellies go to work.
I mean, it's just really hard to deal with this Wraith King who can keep aggressive no matter what's happening. And if you happen to step up to try and defend, blink stun.
And you heard PBD talking on the panel about these heroes you want versus the Dark Willow. They don't have any of those heroes that can really target you down. Basically, it has to be an arrow or something stolen from Crit. And that's why FY can just camp that high ground and live there forever.
Curse Crown, the Yule Scepter afterwards, but movement in. They just use the Yules. Crit finds the lift, but can they find any more? The X, the Torrent, he's going to Yules himself, keeping himself away from that boat, but there is a heck of a lot of heroes right after him, and the Chain Frost, they're able to walk away from it, though, popping that Haster, and Somnus dodges away from the arrow as well. Chalice still living through this and thinking about, take the fight. There's going to be the ulti down. The Terrorize as well, on to 3. They're all fatal bonded together. Chalice trying to chase. Can they kill him off in time? S4 also caught under fire, falling to the grave.
That was such a dangerous fight for EG. The second that Chain Frost dissipated, they lose out on the big edge on that fight. Chalice, the one in the forefront, pressing forward. This is what they want, deeper in.
And they find the Torrent. They found their man. A double kill for Somnus. They're all in the grave right now as the Tier 3 tower is going to be assaulted. And it changes just like that.
The danger of the Luna. Yes, you can buy back on the Spectre, but what can you achieve without the Haunt? It's coming back now, but it's too late.
And the Tier 3 tower down. It is now Barracks that are falling. They have buybacks on 2 of their heroes, but this could potentially be another Tier 3 tower.
Oh, the only answers they could have had in that last fight, maybe a big steal or something from Crit. There's so much pressure on this Rubik, but they were so fast on the upheaval afterward. No chance of the Chaotic Offering. Maybe he can find one now, but they're 2 racks down.
You can hear the crowd here loving every second of it. The LGD fans and EG needing to find some type of another answer.
This is the lower bracket final. Never say die. You have a Spectre. This hero has done it before. EG will be playing to the bitter end. And they've got to find some big plays right now to Sumail. He wasn't able to go for that greedy play on the Radiance. He did have to step back for the Yules. We've seen it useful a couple times. It means that the Spirit Vessel won't just simply destroy him. They need to find big Reaper Scythe kills. They need the big steals from Crit. Everyone needs to play at 200% right now because you're down 16K at 30 minutes.
And suddenly you see the balloon up in levels. You're getting close to level 20 talents for all of the cores of LGD. And the highest level hero on EG right now is 18 on Sumail with that Necrophos. So we take another look at the fight, and again, you look at this, it feels like this could just potentially be one hero picked off, but they feel like they can fight.
Yeah, and then this is what happens, is maybe Space himself, the Chain Frost is now gone. Chalice is the one in front. This is an ideal setup of a fight for LGD. What more could you ask for? I mean, look at that, instantly there was a steal from Crit, but how fast is that upheaval? No chance of the counterplay.
Great showing there from the Warlock. X-Nova, he was the big pickup for LGD in January. was able to make sure that they couldn't turn that fight around against them, getting that upheaval off.
And now the Roshan secured. Just playing out the game right now for LGD. Those basic mechanics that you know how to win a game of Dota when you're ahead, but on the big stage, just one little thing can turn everything awry. So they have to be careful.
30-minute mark with Roche picked up now. And possibly Ame ready to just, if they want to, clear off the rest of the shrines too. Shut down the map, constrict EG, and make sure their movement's not going to bear fruit.
Yeah, Ame, he's already secured himself with the BKB. Now he's going back in towards that butterfly instead for the extra armor, the evasion, trying to go defensive on both edges there for the physical and the magical. And all they really feel like they're going to need is that last set of racks. The mega creeps will feel devastating in this match for EG. But they're still a tier 1 and a tier 2 to get through. But EG at the same time, they can't just give away all their lives or they will just throne you.
18,000 net worth lead right now. EG backs up against the wall. They just need to keep trying to get whatever farm they can. Obviously, every time they leave the safety of their base, Somnus is potentially a threat.
Yeah, Somnus is, he's trying to threaten there with the Invis rune and everything, but there is a Observer and Sentry placed down here from EG, so they're not coming out to fight. They want the best battleground possible.
They have really good vision in the area. They're moving in. Spectre, Haunt available and ready to go in this fight if they so desire to take it. The jump forward, the find onto Sumail. Gotta be careful. The Spirit Vessel is already on top of him. Chalice, still 2 more charges.
They got the D ward as well, so they have to place up another ward now. Crit trying to get as much vision as possible. With that tower down, they've lost their opportunity on the high ground. They're going to pull back.
Chalice walks forward yet again. The Terrorize is out. It's there. The fear, the catch. Is it going to be the kill? They take them down. Sumail, no buyback for 65 seconds. Crit wanting to turn this. He throws back the Wraith Fire Blast. Chain Frost bouncing around a little bit, but Arteezy, he went for Ame, couldn't find him. S4 trying to leap away, but he's only going back to the fountain.
LGD smell blood. They're going in, maybe pressing forward.
And they find themselves the kill. FY able to take himself another. Fly lifted up in the air by the Torrent. EG, last heroes left alive. It's a blade mail from Arteezy trying to stem the bleeding, but it's not happening. Another in the grave. EG all out of focus, in trouble, and inside their base. This is looking like it's going to be it as Sumail, last one alive for the team, dead again. And GG LGD are moving on to the grand finals.
LGD just looking like the better team today. A fantastic draft. The Warlock guarding the Luna, giving themselves a great chance there, moving forward. A couple slip-ups there at the beginning, couldn't quite find their footing, but once this ball got rolling, EG just couldn't stop it.
There you have it. The winners make their way out to shake hands with EG.
What a fantastic run by them, though. I mean, coming into this tournament, amazing they even gained the respect of being one of the top contenders here with such a short formation time.
Feeling the love from the crowd. Absolutely fabulous story for both of these organizations and a top 3 finish with EG. But that does mean LGD have a date with Destiny in the grand finals. So we head back to our panel.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. There we have it. We have our 2 finalists, and PSG LGD move on to the grand finals of the International. A clean 2-0 sweep for PSG LGD as they take down Evil Geniuses and stop that miraculous run. Winter, let's focus on game 2 first. Obviously, we just wrapped up that one. PSG LGD seemed to be in control.
Yeah, it was really, really great that they were able to win with the Spectre in the first game. And second game, they were facing up against the Spectre. They knew what heroes to pick. They were really good against the Spectre. They played really well against him. They had really good team fights, and they were able to pull out ahead throughout the game.
Yeah, March, I mean, Spectre seems to have kind of risen in terms of priority with the last few matches, given how strong that hero is.
Spectre had really good success in this tournament. However, that hero was a flaw in the laning phase against like Wraith King and Dark Willow, and then I don't think EG was able to address that issue, and that's why LGD could have so much impact in the mid game.
Sin, I mean, PSG, LGD, a lot of people expected them to go through the upper bracket all the way. They've still made it to the end. Do you think that they're up for the task as they move on to the grand finals?
Yeah, I think so. The series against OG was incredibly close, so I'm expecting this to be a close finals as well, but I think LGD has gained some valuable experience. And something from the second game of the series that I think is going to be really important going into the finals is that LGD rediscovered a couple of heroes. When you go into best of fives, you need to sometimes get creative, have a bit of a bigger repertoire, and picking up this Warlock and Luna that